What is up, everybody? What is up? What is up? What is up? Welcome to Super Grapple Bros. We are a podcast about two brothers who are former WWE employees that love the wrestling and the video games, the Vigi games. We are back. Excuse my rust. It's been a while. It's been like 3 weeks, I believe, since we last had our show. It was about like a little over a week away from Money in the Bank that we had our last show. And then Money in the Bank happened. TakeOver Chicago 2 happened. This thing called a UK tournament happened. There was a lot of stuff that happened in the video game world, and this little show called E3. I mean, the wrestling world. This little show called E3 happened in the video game world.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be doing a lot of catch up today, and we're definitely gonna be talking the UK tournament, which happened this week. We are going to be talking about some of the bigger things that happened on Raw and SmackDown. We're not gonna be getting into the minutia as much as we normally do on a week to week basis because we've got a lot to cover. So no cute little intro or chit chat or anything. Let's just jump right on into it because we've got a lot we've got to do.
Yep.
NXT TakeOver Chicago 2.
Yep.
That was a thing.
Yep. It was
a show.
Very good thing.
It was a good show. I really liked the show.
Sup, Cam in the chat.
I don't know. Hello to Cam, by the way. I don't know if it was maybe my favorite takeover or one of the best takeovers, but I still really liked it.
It was really good, yeah.
Mm-hmm. First match that kicked things off was the Undisputed Era versus Lorcan and Birch.
That was really good.
Birch. That was good.
Really good.
Yeah. Want to talk about it? You're the one who's big on Lorcan and Birch. Anything in particular you remember? It's been a couple of weeks, so I understand if memory's fuzzy.
I just remember them doing their good thing, which is just hammering on them with hard strikes, and I love their tag team finisher of the wheelbarrow DDT where they don't let go of the wheelbarrow.
It's so mean.
It's so mean. It's so good.
But they did not win that match. Undisputed Era did.
Yeah, which I'm okay with because Undisputed Era is good.
Mm-hmm. They're good.
They're good.
I'd say so. Mm-hmm. So that was off to a good start. I thought it was good. Nothing spectacular. Nothing that really stood out to me. But it also wasn't bad. It was good.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It wasn't my least favorite match of the show, but it also wasn't my favorite match of the show.
After that, we had what arguably could be considered the match of the show.
Yep.
Ricochet versus Velveteen Dream.
Yep.
And a lot of people obviously picked up on when Dream came out, the Hulk Hogan.
Yep.
The fact that he came out with the boas and the hat like Hulk Hogan. He was in the yellow and the red. But you know what a lot of people didn't realize?
What?
His tights. Those are Prince Puma tights.
Yeah.
I think Ricochet actually let him use them because they are the exact same design as one of his Prince Puma tights.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
So not only was he honoring Hogan or wearing the Hogan colors, but he was also doing an homage to his opponent and his opponent's former personality.
Yeah.
Which I think was really cool.
That is awesome, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But that match.
That was so good.
It was a thing.
I think the part I felt the worst about with that match is there was one point where Velveteen hit the rolling Death Valley, and you could tell he did not hit it quite the same way, and even Ricochet was just like, oh, and it looked like he got him pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that match was so good. There was so much flippy stuff.
Flippy things were done.
There were flippy things.
There was a flippy thing.
Yes,
a couple flippy things.
The last thing was very, very flippy.
Yeah, it was a 6:30, right?
Yep. 6:30 cent time.
Big time 6:30.
Yep.
Yeah, those two, we knew they were gonna be able to kill it. Like Velveteen Dream is one of the most promising young talents the WWE may have ever seen.
Yeah.
And Ricochet is he's Ricochet.
Yeah. I hope, this might not sound good saying it out loud, but I hope Velveteen Dream never makes it to the main roster.
Why?
Because
Why would you say that?
Because people that I've been excited to see go to the main roster because of how good they are people like Tyler Breeze and Ty Dillinger.
Poor Breezy.
And yeah, people like that where they go up and they have a great gimmick that works really well in NXT and everything, but then they don't really do anything with them on the main card. And I feel like that's how it might be with Velveteen, where he's going to go in with such a huge head of heat and everything. Head of steam, whatever. Like those other guys did, and then they're just not going to do anything with him, and I don't want to see that happen to him. I'd rather see him stay on NXT and kill it there.
He's got to go to the main roster eventually, though. I think his gimmick will work well. I think it's basically if Prince and Goldust had a baby.
Yeah, I'm just kind of hoping that
also insanely athletic.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that Vince is not in charge at that point.
Mm-hmm. Cam says that he hopes the Velveteen goes to the main roster when Vince is busy with the XFL. So in like 2 years, I think the XFL is launching in 2020.
Yep.
So 2020. That's another thing that I forgot about, that like with that Vince is said he's gonna focus on the XFL more and less on the WWE. So I'm wondering if, and we'll get to this later when we talk about the UK Championship. I'm wondering if what we're seeing from NXT and what's to come, maybe that's a sign of where the WWE is gonna go as a whole. Because if Vince isn't gonna be taking creative command, we can imagine who will.
Yeah, it's true.
We'll talk about that later.
Yep.
When it's appropriate. The next match after that, I believe, if I'm right, was Shayna Baszler versus Nikki Cross.
Yep.
And that was also a pretty damn good match.
It was really good.
I liked it.
I
loved the finish.
Yeah,
loved
the finish
it.
was really good.
Because not only was Nikki like just loving the entire thing and just like smiling, but when she got caught into Shayna's finisher, the sleeper, she was smiling like a happy grin.
Yeah, the Kirimuda clutch.
Yeah, the Kirimuda clutch. She smiled just before she passed out, as if she enjoyed it, like she wasn't even in pain. And the only reason why she lost was because she literally had the air cut off and she just couldn't breathe.
Yeah,
I loved it.
It was real good.
Made Nikki look strong. We knew that Nikki wasn't gonna win this match, even though I wanted to see Nikki Cross win.
Maybe now she could join the rest of Sanity up on the main roster now.
Hopefully, or maybe she'll go for the NXT. Maybe she'll still be involved in the NXT Women's Championship. Maybe she'll win in a multi-man or something. Somebody's got to keep Shayna busy with good quality matches until
that seems
Candice is done
already.
with Gargano and Ciampa. Is that what they're doing with Candice? She's going after Shayna?
She, this last week on NXT, said that that's what her goal is, and that's what she's going to focus on.
It's her goal. It might take a while. Yeah. Might not be for another 6 months.
Yeah, but anyway, you still got good other good people down there. Like, you still got Kairi Sane and stuff.
Yeah, before we get too ahead of ourselves, though, I want to say yes. Thank you to Commander Root for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate it, my man. Thank you so much. Anything else to add to Shayna and Nikki before we move on?
Oh, really? It was just a good, solid match. I liked it.
Then we had Aleister Black versus Lars Sullivan.
Jesus Christ.
Which, it was all right. The only bad thing was the black mass.
Oh, that's
that just missed wildly.
That's the only bad thing? There's one other bad thing that came out of this match, and I'm guessing you don't know about that.
Lars Sullivan's broken jaw.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. And that happened earlier in the match, apparently.
That was from a knee strike, right? That wasn't from a black mass.
Yeah, but still, the fact that happened and he continued through and took the black mass like a champ at the end.
Credit to him, man.
Yeah.
And to be fair,
that's not good, because now we get less Lars Sullivan for a little while.
I don't know. Honestly, in that black mass, I don't know who's more at fault with that one. If it was, because it seemed like they both just mistimed it.
Yeah, that's what it was.
I feel like Aleister Black expected Lars to get up more, and Lars decided to try and do a slow sell up and didn't sell up as quickly as Aleister thought he was going to.
Yeah,
and just went a little too early. I don't think that was anybody's real fault. It was just poor timing, though. Then again, when Aleister Black has hit almost every single one perfectly clean, and then he finally does one to Lars. But again, the second one he hit was actually really good. And the third one.
Yeah. Which is why I'm like, that's not good. He has a broken jaw. Yeah. You hit him twice. Come on.
Didn't he hit him 3 times? He hit him.
Well, he
hit him. Yeah, he hit him the first time when he actually missed. Yeah. He kicked out. Then he hit him a second time. Then he sold up to his knees, and he hit him a third time when he was on his knees.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, is the second and third ones, which are the actual hits when he already has a broken jaw.
Mm-hmm. And didn't, if I'm remembering them, because it's been a couple weeks, so I apologize if I'm misremembering. Didn't Sullivan, put Black through the table, too, with, his, big, almost Uranagi type slam, or am I misremembering?
I don't remember that at all.
I could have sworn they put each other through a table.
It's possible, but I don't remember that.
Anyway, It was a good match. I thought, with exception to the Black Mass miscommunication, I think Lars held his own.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's ready for the NXT to actually hold the NXT championship yet, but he's definitely ready to be somebody who can contend for it. Like, he definitely proved that he deserved to be in the spot where he was at TakeOver. Unfortunately, terribly timed botch.
Yeah.
Considered.
Yeah.
So, nothing else to add?
No, just good, solid match, and I like the way they were.
A little tired?
Yeah, a little bit. Like the way they worked with the whole storyline that they had Lars catch the Black Mass with his hand twice during the match, because that was one big thing about it. But yeah, it's a good match.
Then we'll get to the big match. I don't know if you know, but there are these two guys.
Yeah, the Revival. They're the top guys.
They used to be good friends. Now they're not so much good friends, and they go into a squared circle, and they beat the living bejesus out of each other because they don't like each other, not friends anymore.
Oh, you're talking about those guys. What are their names again? The Hardy Boys. That's right.
No, I was thinking Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Oh, okay.
Actually.
Wait, you're saying they're still doing that?
No. But they were doing that.
Yeah.
They were I never said I didn't date when this was all happening. But no.
Oh no, it's the Authors of Pain and Paul Ellering. They had a falling out.
Yeah, but they're not beating the hell out of each other in the ring.
Yeah.
No. Why you gotta do that? No, guys. Honestly, obviously, we're just jesting, and we're talking about Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa in a street fight, which was basically almost the same thing as their last match, where they just beat the holy hell out of each other. Good God, the ending of that match, like the final 5 to 10 minutes of that match,
it was insane.
Just
that DDT.
Oh my God, that DDT was so gross. But I mean, not just the DDT. But what about that air raid crash or air raid siren through the table that Gargano hit on Ciampa? Like, holy hell.
You know, it's one of my favorite things about this, though, which it's kind of a spoiler for you because I guess you haven't seen it. Something that Tommaso Ciampa pointed out on NXT this week.
What was that?
Technically, not only did I beat Johnny Wrestling, I beat Johnny Wrestling with my freaking hands tied behind my back.
Technically, he did. Although his hands were tied behind his back only for the very end.
Yeah. But it's technically true.
Were they behind his back, or were they in front? Yeah,
it was done behind, but he brought his arms to the front and did it. But still, he was handcuffed and pinned to Johnny Wrestling.
Yeah.
But yeah, that match was real good.
And now, so good. And that, I saw that DDT and I was like, I crumbled up like this when I watched it. It was just,
and now...
And Cam says Johnny Gargano turning slightly into Ciampa was great. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was so good.
Just being ruthless and brutal.
Destroying him. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God.
Such a good match. We knew that that Ciampa had to win in order for this to continue, but I cannot wait. They're now going to go their separate ways a little bit, and then they're going to come back together for the NXT Championship. I think you move Aleister Black up to the main roster after SummerSlam because you have to make this rivalry is so good it needs to go for the championship. And I don't want Aleister Black to suffer as a result. So unless you want to move Aleister Black down to the North American Championship and have him have a rivalry with Adam Cole over that, baby. And then bring him back up to the main title once Gargano and Ciampa are done, the dust is settled, or you just have him lose the title and go up to the main roster.
That's probably what they'll do, because I know right now what they're doing with this NXT, what it seems like they're doing is they're doing Ciampa interrupting and going after Aleister for the title, and then Johnny Gargano was like, this isn't done, I want another match with Tommaso Ciampa, and William Regal apparently said, yeah, this is getting too much, you need to stay away from Ciampa, but next week I'm going to put you in a match with someone else who demands a main event spotlight in EC3.
Yeah.
And then on NXT this week, we also had what's name's Undisputed Era go to fight Mustache Mountain, and they went to at first just assault them. And who came to the rescue to even the odds? Ricochet. And one of the parts of the end of the match was Ricochet hitting the 630 senton on Adam Cole, and if it wasn't for I believe it was Bobby Fish pulling Adam Cole out of the ring, he would have gotten the pinfall on him. So I have a feeling we're going to see Ricochet go for the NXT North American Championship, Gargano and EC3 duke it out for a while, and Ciampa go after Aleister for the title.
And Ciampa will take the title from Aleister, and then we'll finally get Gargano versus Ciampa for the championship. I got something to say real quick after I get into what Cam said, but Cam says and Ciampa in the match, and Ciampa not rolling off of Johnny just after he won was great, because Ciampa didn't want Johnny to abandon him after his injury. So good.
Yeah.
So yeah, I liked how he just rolled on top of him with his arms done and then just stayed there for a little while.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting thing. There two of my coworkers at NBC Sports are, as I mentioned before, are big wrestling fans like me. So we were talking after the UK tournament about we were talking about the UK tournament, and then we also went back to about NXT and Gargano Ciampa and all that.
Mm-hmm.
He believes, and he actually convinced me as well, that they might actually try to pull a double turn on Gargano and Ciampa.
Yeah, it's possible.
Because he said, if you notice, Candice LeRae was talking about how she wants to become NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah,
and like take on Shayna Baszler, and apparently Gargano wasn't fully paying attention to her and was still focused and obsessed with Ciampa. So he thinks that they might use Candice to show Johnny starting to be so obsessed with this rivalry that he just doesn't care and doesn't actually give a crap about Candice, which would thus make everything that Ciampa has been saying about Gargano actually true.
Yeah.
So that way it's not Ciampa pissed off and bitter. He was actually telling everybody the truth the whole time. And then Gargano just becomes an a-hole, just obsessed about himself and everything he's doing and taking care of his business, not worrying about anybody else's business. Ciampa ends up being the guy who tells the truth. He ends up being the face as a result, and Gargano becomes the heel, and you reverse the roles.
Yeah, it's quite possible. The only thing that I could see that would stop it is the whole promo that Candice did was not only her saying that she's going to go after the women's title, but saying that Johnny's passion for everything he's doing with Ciampa as well as the NXT title is what's driving her to do that, and she's just going to stay out of his way, and she's not going to deal with what he's doing anymore, but she's going to focus on herself and her dreams.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that I think might kind of dampen that, is the fact that she looks like she's just going to be staying away from him in regards to TV.
I mean,
but
I think the double turn would be awesome. But Cam says also, don't turn Johnny heel because he's so likable and believable as an underdog. And he's also just such a good, genuine dude in real life that, like, he's almost like a Daniel Bryan. Like, he's such a good person in general that it's hard to just, it's hard to think of him as a heel. Mm-hmm. And also, I think it would be such a great moment just for him to win the championship as a babyface.
Yeah.
Especially given everything that he's been going through over the last year, that it would be hard to pull off the double turn. I think I almost kind of don't want it, even though I think it's an awesome idea.
I don't want it because of the fact that, just think about it this way. Johnny Gargano finally wins the NXT championship, and he does it by beating Tommaso Ciampa. Think about how loud that crowd is going to pop when that happens.
Yeah. Big Stupid coming into the chat. What's up, man? He says he thinks your fanboy hard on for Ciampa Gargano is getting a little out of hand. Not every feud needs to have a title. No, that's true. Not every rivalry needs to have a championship. But when it's this hot and this heated, and part of Gargano's entire story for the last year has been to get the NXT championship.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the next logical step and evolution of the of the rivalry. Because what would be the worst thing for Johnny after he loses to Ciampa would be for Ciampa to win the championship that he hasn't been able to win, and that Ciampa's been telling him he can't win.
Yeah, exactly. because of the fact that the majority of this last year has been about Johnny's strive to make it as a single superstar and specifically become the NXT champion, it makes all the sense for Ciampa to be like, I'm better than you. I'm going to prove it. Hey, look, I proved it. You're never going to get this. And then Johnny do everything he can to not only take out his rival, but finally achieve his dreams.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, so I think it works out perfectly. Big Stupid says, "Oh my god, it's so cute. You guys wore matching outfits." Yeah, we're both wearing nice khaki shorts and polo shirts, golf shirts, because we took our dad golfing earlier today. So if you guys don't see, like, we're wearing almost the exact same thing. We're both wearing cargo khaki shorts, light colored. Yours is more brown, mine's more tan, and I've got a lighter blue shirt. But they're both from the Lynx at Aruba.
Yeah.
Our father got them for us, so yeah, we're all cute and matching today. Cam says, I want Ciampa to have it for the story, but I don't want Black to lose it either. Yeah, I understand, but at the same time, Black at least has won it, and now he can move on to bigger and better things because he's just ridiculous.
And one thing I'll point out is now, if we do this, we're also getting a little bit of a break from the feud, so it's not like it's going to be overkill of having it main event 3 takeovers in a row.
Yeah. Big Stupid says they made everybody wait basically a year for this feud, so I think they spread it out all the way to TakeOver before Mania. I think so too. I think this is going to keep evolving for a while. I wouldn't be surprised if I don't know if they'll go Gargano Ciampa for the title right after SummerSlam. I think Ciampa will win it at SummerSlam, and then he's going to be a dick to Gargano and say, you lost your chance when you had it, and then you lost to me when you had your chance, when it really boiled down to it, and you had to, like, win again. You lost to me the last time we faced each other. You don't deserve first billing. You have to fight your way and get your way to me. And Ciampa's basically going to be the final boss. And I think from SummerSlam to WrestleMania TakeOver, we're gonna see Ciampa just be this. He's gonna basically become the Psycho Killer and become this ruthless
champion.
This ruthless champion who just decimates and picks apart and destroys his opponents. Meanwhile, Johnny has to claw and fight his way through the NXT roster to get his opportunity. And Ciampa could be somebody who's like, no, I'm not going to give you the opportunity. I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not going to give it to you until finally, William Regal is like, no, this is happening. He's earned his spot.
Yeah.
So I think you can drag this out. Like, now you can take a little bit of a break to where they're not beating each other up. But yeah. Big Stupid thinks Gargano was so gonna screw Ciampa over at TakeOver Brooklyn. He could.
Yeah, you never know.
He could. Or it could be that maybe Gargano tries to screw over Ciampa and he actually hits Aleister Black. Because you could do that.
Yeah,
maybe he tries to hit Ciampa with something and he hits Aleister Black. Ciampa then hits Gargano down
and gets the
pins Black, wins, and thus you don't have to bring Aleister Black up. You immediately have Aleister Black versus Johnny Gargano because Black is pissed off at Gargano for costing the championship. He wants to shot the title. Gargano's not done with Ciampa yet. You maybe have EC3 step in to challenge Ciampa or another face. Maybe you have Velveteen Dream or Ricochet.
I think they're going to be doing stuff for the North American Championship, but
well, I'm just trying to think somebody to throw in there. So that way Ciampa has somebody to fight, or you just make it a triple threat match.
Yeah.
And then you have Ciampa pin Black. And you have your ways to move this around and have this work.
Yeah.
But I think Ciampa is eventually going to get the championship, and then you're going to have Ciampa and Gargano have their penultimate matchup for the championship at TakeOver Mania.
Yeah, and
unless you want them both to have a championship reign and both not have the title come Mania, so they can both move up, then you might have them both win, and then maybe be in like a triple threat match at Mania and lose. Yeah, and they both lose. But
one thing I'm gonna point out is Big Stupid saying he doesn't want to see Aleister lose after one defense.
Didn't that happen to Nakamura both times he had the title? It happened to Joe once during one of his reigns.
Joe beat
happened to Sami Zayn.
Yeah, I mean Sami Zayn lost right away to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens lost it to Finn Balor. Finn Balor defended for a while, but then he lost it to Samoa Joe, who then immediately lost it and won it back and lost it to Nakamura, who then immediately lost it to Bobby Roode. And then
Bobby Roode only had one successful title defense.
And that was against Nakamura.
Well, actually, no. Technically, he had two. No, he beat Nakamura. And no, he technically had three then. Never mind. We can always have Black defend the title on an NXT.
But that's one thing I'm going to point out is he already has.
Mm-hmm.
He's already defended the title. The first title defense he had was like the week after he won it. He defended it. No, he defended it against Eric Young before Sanity moved up to the main roster. And then I think a couple weeks after that, he defended it against, I think it was Adam Cole. But I know he's defended it at least twice before he defended it against Lars Sullivan at TakeOver.
Yeah.
So that was technically his third title defense. Because his whole thing is, if you want to face me for the title, I'm here. I'm waiting. Come at me. So,
yeah. The main event scene in NXT is about to get very, very interesting. That's all we'll say. But anyway, to wrap it up,
moving on.
Gargano Ciampa, that street fight was amazing.
Yes.
Overall, TakeOver Chicago 2. Good show. I enjoyed it. Thumbs up. TakeOver is rarely, if ever, bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely not one of. I wouldn't say it's maybe one of the top takeovers. But definitely very good.
Right, let's get into the Money in the Bank.
Yes, Money in the Bank. Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. That happened.
Yep.
It was a thing. Daniel Bryan won. Cass is gone.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan made Cass tap out so hard that he's not in the company anymore.
Yeah. I mean, we all thought that Daniel Bryan was going to win. It's a shame that Big Cass got released right afterwards, but from what we've heard backstage, he apparently didn't mesh well with the guys in the locker room backstage. He, went against himself. He got too high on himself. He went off script with the whole little Daniel Bryan thing and butted heads with writers and stuff. And apparently he was also he had a bit of a vice in regards to the drink.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. One quick thing I want to point out about that. Looking back on how they were in NXT, did you really think that Big Cass would be the least successful out of him, Enzo, and Carmella?
I know. It's sad.
No.
Because I saw him, because there was a period in NXT where Enzo was injured and they were thinking about putting him in NXT title contention, and he actually looked really good.
Yeah.
And I saw the potential. He just, unfortunately, things didn't break his way, and apparently he had a bad attitude.
Yeah, I mean, he was given shots at number one contendership for the Universal title on Raw, too, when Enzo got that concussion during that one match with the Revival and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Another match that happened, Bludgeon Brothers versus Gallows and Anderson.
That was on the pre-show. I didn't even get to see it.
It was all right.
Not surprised.
Bludgeon Brothers retained. Let's just get the bad matches out of the way while we're at it. Lashley and Sami Zayn. Poor Sammy. Apparently, he tore both his rotator cuffs, and he's out for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was.
Guys,
Sammy's good.
Can I say one thing quickly? I know Braun Strowman's using the running power slam, and that's what Bobby Lashley used to use as his finishing move. Why do you have to have him use a stalling vertical suplex? Just let two people have the same finishing move.
They do it with a spear.
Exactly. I mean, come on. It's a terrible move.
Or maybe see if he gets the okay from Goldberg and let him turn it into a jackhammer. Let it be a stalling jackhammer.
Yeah, just something.
So that way it's more impactful.
God. Hey, it's not my fault that they're the best tag team going right now.
I'm sorry. You gotta say for the people in the audio version. They can't hear. They can't read the chat. You gotta read what's going on in the chat.
I am just simply pointing out to Big Stupid that the Revival is the best tag team in the WWE.
No, they're not.
Even people like the Rock and Roll Express have said that and said that that is their number one choice of who they would want to wrestle in this day and age.
They're not. They're the most talented tag team
because they're the best.
They're the most talented. They are not the best because they haven't won the big titles yet. They have to win the big titles. Once they win the big titles, then you can say they're the best.
I could say they're the best because they're the only tag team. They are not the top
guys because they're not at the top of the card.
They beat
in the tag division.
They were on the top of the card and beat the two of the top guys on the card.
They're on their way there. they're the most talented, but they're not the top guys yet. They are not the best yet.
Are the only tag team to hold the NXT tag team titles more than once.
Okay, that's nice. You know who never held the tag team titles in NXT? The Bludgeon Brothers.
Yeah, and they're not a good tag team.
They're a good tag team.
No,
their gimmick's not good, but they have the titles right now.
Luke Harper is good. Eric Rowan is just his backup, so Luke Harper has something to do. They're not a great tag team.
You know who else had a big claim for the NXT titles? Who had the longest reign ever?
The Ascension.
Yeah.
God no.
They're the best tag team, right?
No.
But they held the NXT tag titles for so long.
But they haven't held it multiple times, and they also are not that good. But anyway, I believe that the Revival are the top tag team in WWE in terms of, at the very least, talent.
Okay. I'm telling you they are the most talented. I'm agreeing with you that they are the most talented. I'm giving you credit. But as of right now, because they have not won the Raw or the SmackDown tag team titles, they are not the best. Once they win those titles, which I think they should, then we can say they are the best.
Well, I can say it all I want. I mean, this is America after all.
Yeah, you can voice your opinion as much as you want. It does make it true.
If it's a fact, it's a fact. Whatever. Let's keep going.
And in this world, opinions are facts. Right now, apparently.
Apparently, yeah. So anyway,
we went on a wild tangent. We were talking about Bobby Lashley and Sami Zayn. I feel so bad for Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, he tried his best to make that work, but Bobby Lashley is not the most charismatic person, and it was just bad, horrible writing. Some of the worst writing in WWE history, I think.
Another quick little side thing: get rid of the sweatband. It just looks ridiculous.
Yeah. Anyway. Let's move on to matches that were kind of better. We'll talk about. Well, actually, let's get this out of the way first. Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal. Why was that a thing? That went on way too long.
I'm
way too slow.
I can see why that's a thing because they want those guys to appear on the show. I can understand that. That match should not have been going on that long, especially with the story that they've been running about it. That match should not have gone on that long.
Yeah, nobody cared about it. They were chanting all kinds of things in Chicago about it during the match. Like,
some of my favorites include CM Punk. There was also an NXT chant. My favorite chant they did during that match was Johnny Wrestling.
Mm-hmm. I heard that one.
Yep. There was also The Wave, in which one of my favorite parts.
It's bad when the crowd waves. Yeah. The crowd only does a wave when they are absolutely goddamn bored and have absolutely no interest.
There was apparently a beach ball there, and people started chanting for the beach ball. Although one of my favorite things was during the wave, they zoomed the camera in so they minimize you seeing it as much as possible. And I just love because there was someone in the front row in which as wave was coming by, literally just went as if, all right, I did my part. Let's move on.
All right. Carmella versus Asuka. It was all right.
Yeah.
I actually didn't mind it, and I loved the finish. There were people who didn't like it, but I loved it.
Well, I'm guessing a lot of those people don't like James Ellsworth.
I thought it was great. And the wink that Ellsworth gave was hilarious.
The only thing that I have a slight issue with is the fact that he left after getting attacked by Carmella, but whatever. This is James Ellsworth. He could stick by her if he
They've
wants.
patched things up.
Yeah.
I think that wink was so good because he overdid it so I was like,
yeah,
so good. Good way to have Asuka lose. It protects her. Always good to have Ellsworth back. I think Carmella's better with James Ellsworth to work off of.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I approve of what happened last year, Money in the Bank. But I'm just saying, his character helps and complements her character. That's what I was looking for. The match stuff was good.
Yeah, it was all right.
Not too bad. Let's talk about what do we want to talk about next? Let's stick with the ladies. Let's do the women's Money in the Bank ladder match.
That was good.
It was good. It was the match that should have happened last year, pretty much.
Yeah.
The girls were the ladies, the women. They were not afraid to use the ladders on each other, throw each other in the ladders, throw each other off the ladders, do moves off on the ladders and stuff like that. Very good. Sad Becky lost, but my girl Alexa Bliss ended up winning. And that crowd erupted for her when she won too.
She's really good. That's why.
Mm-hmm. yeah, entertaining, good. I definitely approve. It is the match, like I said before, it is the match that last year's Money in the Bank ladder match should have been.
Yeah.
With a woman clearly winning. No guy going up there and taking the briefcase down for the woman.
Yep.
And they took risks, and there were some really good spots in there.
Yeah.
Him, by the way, says back with regarding to Carmella versus Asuka, he liked the finish, but he thinks that Asuka waited far too long after Ellsworth appeared for Carmella to win.
I'm just gonna point out.
Big Stupid agrees.
To be fair, a good amount of that was Carmella taking too long.
Yeah,
because she's the one who had to stand up, and she kicked Asuka from like the side of her face. So it was partially that Carmella was taking so long to get up off the goddamn mat.
Yeah. And then we'll finish things up with the ladies. Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey. That was good.
Yeah.
That judo throw though.
Yeah.
By Ronda.
It was a good match.
Holy crap. That was good.
Yeah. It was a really good match, and Ronda did an amazing job, and it ended as I figured it was going to end.
Yep. Yeah, I knew that there was going to be post-match shenanigans, but I thought it was going to involve Natty.
Yeah.
But instead, Alexa Bliss came out, hit Ronda, so Ronda can keep her win streak via DQ. God damn it. And then beat up on Nia, and now I've got Alexa, Asuka, and Nia set up. I think are they going to work in like a triple threat? I don't know.
I guess you don't know what happened with that. The following night.
Oh no, Ronda! I remember Ronda beat the hell out of Alexa the night after, and took on the security. Yeah,
she also assaulted Kurt Angle.
I saw that. Yeah, like old Stone Cold style, and she's been suspended, which is going to set up Alexa versus Ronda for SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll get Alexa Nia for Extreme Rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Stupid says it was her second TV match. She's going to be a star.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And Cam says it was one of Nia's best matches. I agree. It was Ronda's second match ever for WWE, and her first singles match, and she gave Nia Jax one of her best matches.
Oh, yeah.
Ronda Rousey is going to be insanely good.
Yep.
Insanely good. I am all aboard the Ronda hype train right now.
Exactly.
Choo choo.
Please don't.
Then let's move on. Let's go from one good match to the one that arguably possibly might have stolen the show outside of the Money in the Bank ladder match. The Intercontinental Championship match. Seth Rollins versus Elias.
Yeah, god damn.
That match was really good.
That was insane.
That made me be like, damn, Elias. Your gimmick
you got so much better from NXT.
Yeah. He's got the look. He's got the gimmick, and now he seems to have the ability. But then again, Seth Rollins is also firing on all cylinders and just can't have a bad match right now.
Yeah, he's Seth freaking Rollins after all.
Mm-hmm. But that was a really good match. I almost thought that Rollins was gonna lose it. When Elias hit his elbow drop off the top. But no, Rollins held on.
Yeah,
Rollins endured.
That entire series was insane because that was into the post and then immediately into the stairs and then immediately in the ring with that crazy elbow drop. I was like, wow, that's it.
No. Rollins like, nope.
No.
I ain't done. Oh, man. Seth Rollins is so good, and Elias is becoming so good.
Yeah.
And he gets so much heat. I don't know if I would want Elias to win the Universal Championship just yet. But I almost kind of, once we get the title off of Brock, I kind of want to see Elias in more Universal title matches. And maybe by this time in 6 months or this time in a year, I would not mind seeing him win that thing.
Elias win the Universal Championship.
Yes.
I think it's too early for that because I feel like you got to have some other people get shots at that before him.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you got Seth Rollins, who hasn't really had a fair shot at it, who did a hell of a job in that match. You've got Finn Balor, who's never gotten a shot at it since he got injured. Unfortunately, you've got Roman Reigns going to be thrown out again. You've got Braun Strowman. You've got, when he eventually comes back, probably Dean Ambrose. You've got a bunch of people that could go for it that I feel like might be in line before Elias.
I think. Oh, you mean for the Universal? I thought you were
for
talking
the
about
Universal
the Intercontinental Championship.
No,
yeah,
because you kept saying Universal the
well, I
entire
think
time.
in 6 months to a year, I don't know, a year from now, I think he could win it. I think he could be in contention for it, and I think he'll be in the main event scene.
I could see him being in the scene, but I don't see him winning it.
I definitely think he's going to be in the top of the card soon.
I could see him winning the Intercontinental Championship kind of soon, though.
Yeah. Cam, by the way, going back to Ronda, says they saw Jim Ross live this week, and apparently JR said that he spoke to a Fox executive, and he believes Ronda will be on SmackDown when it moves to Fox. I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Fox is going to be the big money maker on television. It's going to be on a main major network on Friday nights. You're definitely putting Ronda Rousey, your biggest star, who is showing that she is going to not only be your biggest star from a PR and marketing standpoint, but from an actual wrestling standpoint as well.
Yeah.
You're definitely putting her on the big show.
Yes.
And I don't know if you heard, I heard this through the grapevine because I didn't watch myself, but apparently they've Yes. Apparently they're now also calling they're calling SmackDown one of their flagship shows. They're calling SmackDown and Raw now both flagship shows.
Well,
because SmackDown now got that big Fox deal.
Well, since they moved it up to SmackDown Live, they've been calling it as one of their flagship shows.
Okay. But, I thought that was a recent thing.
No, they were saying that it's one of WWE's 2 flagship shows.
Okay.
Because then underneath it, you got now freaking Main Event. You've got NXT.
Is
You've
Main
got
Event
205.
still a thing?
Apparently, yeah.
Huh.
It happens before Raw every week. But yeah, you also got you've also got 205 Live, and now you're gonna have NXT UK brand.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
Yeah. Big Super says, remember this podcast? Seth Rollins wins the Royal Rumble and a world title belt at Mania. You know, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah,
I'd be happy with that. I want to see Seth Rollins have the Universal Championship. I'm very interested to see what's gonna happen when Dean Ambrose comes back. Now that Rollins doesn't have the Intercontinental Championship, I'm wondering if he's going to be the one who actually faces Brock at SummerSlam instead of Reigns, or if you'll do a triple threat match, or maybe Ambrose comes back, turns heel on Seth, and we get like a fatal 4-way where it's 3 members of the Shield and Braun Strowman for the Universal Championship.
Well, what I could see happening,
because they all have a past with Brock, even though Dean's was kind of
dumb,
a bad match, but then again, Dean's also given heat to Brock about it.
Yeah.
So they have that tension there.
The what I think is possibly going to happen, which is what I'm hoping happens, honestly, is we get Rollins versus Ziggler for the title at Extreme Rules or whatever, and we get Rollins winning the title back, and then we get Ziggler wanting his rematch right away, Rollins retaining. And then we continue seeing these open challenges. And at SummerSlam, Rollins does an open challenge. And Dean Ambrose is the one who comes out and accepts the challenge and wins the title off of him.
I don't know, because Dean would have to do something. Because I feel like when Dean comes back, he has to be the heel. And Rollins has to be in the face. So Dean would have to do something super heelish to win that match.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's better if he comes back and almost immediately just beats the hell out of Rollins.
Well,
or
it
comes
could
from out of
be
nowhere.
It could easily be Rollins is sitting out there. Who wants a challenge? Dean Ambrose music hits, and everyone starts freaking out, and then Dean comes from behind and just blasts Seth from behind.
Or
and
just
beats
nobody's music plays at all, and Ambrose just attacks him from behind.
Yeah.
And then calls a referee down.
Yeah.
And then just wins it right away. Laserscope is in the chat. He says, yo, all. Laserscope, by the way, we're going to be talking E3 a little later in video games. He was our on-the-floor correspondent because he was working with High Res. He was there with High Res for Realm Royale. So he gave us notes that we're going to discuss and read off later when we get to E3. Cam says, I thought Rollins would be cost by Ambrose rather than lose to Ziggler. I kind of thought that maybe too, but I think they might also maybe see if they can put him in a title match with Brock and have Ambrose screw him over there, or maybe win the title off. I don't know. Stupid says he thinks they reunite since the tag team division on Raw is so bad. Then down the line, Dean turns on him. That could happen. Laserscope says, all right, which mom dressed the brothers the same? We have already been through this, Laserscope.
Let's stop this right here. It's not that the tag division on Raw is bad. It's that it's been handled badly because now you've got Wyatt and Hardy as a champion, which I don't think is the best, but it's good. And you've got teams like the B Team, you've got the Revival, you've got the Authors of Pain. You've got a good amount of decent teams on the show.
Yeah, the Raw tag division will get better.
Yeah,
I don't think it's bad. It's just not being written right.
Yeah, they don't need Rollins and Ambrose
to
improve it.
It's more of a booking issue than a talent issue.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think you just gotta immediately turn Ambrose heel when he comes back on Rollins.
Yeah. Like I said, I could see it where they do that. His music hits, and he comes in from from behind Rollins, hits him, throws him in the ring post, and just starts beating on him. Then they start the match, and he ends up beating him. And it could even be something like the referee gets distracted by something and low blow into the dirty deeds to get the pin.
Mm-hmm. I think it would have to be something more brutal or vicious, where the ref's down and he hits him with a chair or puts him through a table or gets a barbed wire bat or something, or something where it shows anger than just a low blow.
Well, I'm saying that's how you finish it. I'm saying you start it off before the match even starts with going all out because, hey, if the match hasn't officially started, you can't be disqualified.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of low blows, transition, Styles and Nakamura happened. And boy, was there an epic low blow in that match.
Yep. Holy crap.
I think that was the best Styles Nakamura match on pay-per-view. I think the SmackDown match might have been better that we gotten. That was the match we should have gotten at WrestleMania, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. The only thing I didn't like about that match is that Nakamura lost. However, AJ Styles had probably the best, greatest, most epic dick kick I've ever seen in the history of wrestling.
Yep. Can I point out my one grievance about the fact that Shinsuke lost?
Sure.
So this match happened in the end of June. They've been building up this rivalry since the end of January. They have their first match at WrestleMania. This is their fourth match altogether. Out of those four matches, that was their fifth match. Because they had a match at WrestleMania, they had a match at Greatest Royal Rumble, they had a match at whatever pay-per-view it was. Yeah, Backlash. Then they had on SmackDown, and then they had this match. So out of 5 matches, Nakamura won 1. And it wasn't even one where the title was on the line. It was to decide the stipulation of the match. If you know this series is going to go on for 5 matches, and you're going to have it end with Styles on top, why not let him win 1 match with the title on the line, and then lose it, and then lose again?
Yeah, I agree. I think Nakamura should have won the title, and then maybe, even if it was just a 1-month reign, and they lose it back to Styles, I think it would have been nice to see Nakamura at least win one of the title matches.
I mean, it's just ridiculous, because it's a matter of, you kind of killed his character now, because his character has just been focused on this one thing this entire time and was unsuccessful. And the very first thing they do afterwards is, we'll move you to this area. We'll see,
because he's in a U.S. title program with Jeff Hardy, and that could be really good.
It could be good, but I'm saying as a character, it kind of kills him because he's been obsessed for so long, and now he's supposed to just drop it all of a sudden.
We'll just have to see what happens.
Yeah.
I think he should have won, but we'll see. But I mean, the person taking Nakamura's place and challenging AJ, it's very good. We'll get to that later. We've got one more match to talk about. Can you guess which one it is?
Yes, it is the aptly named Survivor Series 6 or 10-man tag team match.
Yes. So which team won?
It was Team Raw after John Cena threw every opponent one by one with an AA into a Roman Reigns spear, while Braun Strowman just went raw behind them and pinned all of them all at the same time.
That's a good match. Okay, so so that's it for Money in the Bank. We've got
aptly named Money in the Bank.
The aptly named Money in the Bank Survivor Series match. No, we got the men's Money in the Bank match. Which there was a lot of people in it. I can't remember everybody who was in it again. Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, The Miz, Rusev, Bobby Roode, Kevin Owens, Samoa Joe, and the New Day member, which I thought that reveal was great. Yeah. I loved how Xavier Woods ripped off his shirt and it just said Kofi on it.
I liked how they were getting set like it was Big E, and then pushed Big E to the side, and then he ripped it off and Kofi.
That was awesome.
It was great. Yeah.
I am so sad that Kofi didn't win.
Yeah, same.
Because I really want Kofi to win a major championship.
Although I will point out that Kofi Kingston, I forget who it is that he's tied with, but he is now tied for most Money in the Bank matches in his career.
Yeah. But he hasn't won a single one.
Unfortunately.
And unfortunately, like, the Corey Graves, I think, pointed that out. And I was like, I wonder if they pointed that out because he's going to finally win. Nope.
Which is upsetting, but I am also still kind of happy with who won. And
me
poor Kevin Owens.
I mean, I feel like, poor Kevin Owens, that fall. And I feel bad for him, too, because he didn't hit flush in the middle of his back on that table.
Nope.
He snapped back a bit. I was like, oh, God, please don't be concussed. Please don't have a brain hemorrhage.
Yeah.
Please be okay.
Please, dear God, we cannot lose you.
That was a hell of a spot.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I think my favorite part, though, was...
Also, real quick, just this might be what you're going to talk about next, but a nice little polite golf clap of professionalism to Braun Strowman, by the way, for realizing that he was about to kill Kofi Kingston by those ladders.
I think it was not Kofi. What I was going to talk about, but yeah.
It was Kofi, right?
I don't remember who
or was it Miz? Was it Miz? I think it might have been Miz.
I don't remember.
But anyway, it was Miz or Kofi. It looked like he was going to murder the accident, like drop them in the middle of a couple ladders and murder them. And was like, nope, let me reset this. Okay, there you go, right flat square on one ladder.
Yeah, that was Kofi. I'm remember that. Yeah. But the part I'm talking about was I forget exactly who it was. I know it was two guys. I think it may have been the Miz and Finn Balor, something like that, coming at Braun Strowman with the ladder, and Strowman just fucking hulking through the ladder. That
was great and broken in half. That steel ladder that's made of wood.
It wasn't Miz, because Miz was in the ring and that happened, and Miz
like did the crap his pants sell, which I love of him.
Yeah, like I saw that, I was like, we do not deserve you, Miz.
Yeah, that's the one great thing that I love about the Miz. Like, his facial expressions are priceless. Yes. Especially, I love his like terrified crap his pants like looks and expressions. They're great. Cam mentions this in chat, and I will kind of agree, at least on the men's one, because it ended up working out for the women's. Because I think it worked out for the women's. Mm-hmm. He says that he feels like both Money in the Banks were wasted this year because both people who won don't need them. I do agree with an extent to Alexa Bliss, but the fact they used it to cash in that moment and create this good like storyline going into SummerSlam involving all three ladies, I think that ended up working out okay. I kind of agree with Braun Strowman winning the men's Money in the Bank because I feel like Braun is so over and he's such a monster. He doesn't need the Money in the Bank briefcase. He'd get a Universal Championship match and probably win it whenever. I feel like it would have been a much better vehicle for guys like a Kofi or a Miz or maybe a Bobby Roode or
Finn
Rusev.
Maybe.
Maybe Finn Balor based on where he is right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and I felt like he was the one guy where it's like they didn't need that briefcase as a vehicle to move them up to that next stage in the card.
True. But can I make one quick argument about this?
Also, real quick, the other bad thing about the way this match ended is that now they're using the stupid nickname of Monster in the Bank.
Oh, yeah. But the one quick little argument I'll make is, did Braun Strowman need him to win this briefcase? No. You know who did need Braun Strowman to win this briefcase, though?
Who?
The WWE itself.
Why?
SummerSlam is why. SummerSlam is going to be in New York. They're going to do Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar.
We don't know if they're going to do Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar right now. There's rumors that Seth Rollins might be put into that match. And it'll be either a triple threat match or it might be Rollins versus Lesnar in a singles.
Okay, well, anyway, there's a good chance it could be Roman versus Brock. If that is the case, it is going to be in New York. It's going to be booed like crazy. If Roman wins, he's going to be booed like crazy. If Brock Lesnar wins, he's going to be booed like crazy. But you know what isn't going to get booed like crazy? Braun Strowman coming in and cashing in and getting and just obliterating.
I think that would be a great ovation if you do it after the match and you do it maybe to Roman after Roman beats Lesnar. Have Roman finally beat Lesnar, and then the title gets taken away from him immediately by Braun, and you just go with the Braun Roman Reigns rivalry, which was amazing.
Exactly.
Which I think if they do that, then yes, this was the right move. If they don't do that, it wasn't the right move.
Okay, but I'm saying that's right.
Because they could have just as easily. They also could have just as easily just had Braun get involved and make it a triple threat match too.
True, but like I said, this is a matter of you'll get the huge amount of boos and negative attention, everything when that happens, and then as soon as Braun comes in, he is going to save the end of that pay-per-view. Yeah, it's going to be just like when Rollins cashed in on Reigns and in the middle of Reigns and Lesnar. If Braun comes out after, it's going to be the same kind of result.
The thing is like it's a perfect storm because yes, there are people who don't like Roman, but people love Roman versus Brock. Like everybody likes Roman when he's wrestling Brock. But the thing is like I mean not Brock, Braun.
Yeah.
Like the problem is with this situation. It's going to get booed like crazy in New York because you've got a fair chunk of the New York crowd that hates Roman. Mm-hmm. You've got a fair chunk of us who are, sick of Brock having the title. And then everybody is sick of seeing these two wrestle each other. Yeah. Nobody wants to see Roman versus Brock anymore. Everybody feels it should have ended at WrestleMania. So you have Braun come in, win the title, take the title off Roman, and then you go with the rivalry that everybody wants to see, that everybody's going to enjoy, and you've got two full-timers fighting over the Universal Championship who absolutely killed it last year, the rivalry of the year, arguably.
Yeah. And then from there, you could, if you keep the title on Braun, you could do Braun versus Seth. You could do Braun versus Finn Balor. You could do Braun versus Kevin Owens. You could do Braun versus a bunch of people. Same thing with Roman Reigns. You could start diversifying.
Yeah. And Cam says he thinks Braun can easily and believably be inserted into the title feud with no briefcase. I agree. That's what I was saying. Like, he could just as easily get put into a triple threat match. But I think what DMurph is saying is that with the briefcase, he can just immediately cash in and you get the surprise factor.
Yeah, exactly.
You get the swerve factor in there.
And
you get that immediate pop of Braun's music hitting while Roman's celebrating from the title. And it works from a storyline perspective.
And you know what? They could even throw this off entirely. I could even see them doing something like Brock Lesnar comes out onto the ramp, and then Braun Strowman comes out, destroys him, and before Roman's match with Brock could even start, Braun beating Brock for the title right then and there.
I don't know. I don't think they would do Brock like that. They wouldn't do Brock like that.
I'm saying they might do something. Like, you never know what they're going to do. He could cash it in at any time that Braun is around.
Technically, we could even just have Braun say, like, I'm in the match at WrestleMania.
True.
Because you can announce cashing in your contract whenever you want.
Yeah. But
then again,
the last person
Braun could also just go up to Kurt Angle and be like, I want it in this match. And Kurt would be like, okay, just don't hurt me.
I'm just going to point out, though. Do you know what happened the last time someone said they were going to cash in their Money in the Bank briefcase at WrestleMania? Do you remember who that was?
Well, I didn't say WrestleMania. I said SummerSlam.
No, you said WrestleMania.
I meant SummerSlam then.
Oh, right. Well, that's different. But as I was going to say, do you know who the last person who announced they were going to use their Money in the Bank briefcase at WrestleMania was?
Damien Sandow?
No. Even before that.
I can't remember.
I'll give you a hint. He didn't get to do that because of a little incident he had
Kennedy?
with Ken Kennedy was the last person who did that, and then a few weeks later, because of everything going on with Randy Orton, it was, oh, well, we're just going to have Edge take the briefcase off of you, and then Edge is going to use it and win.
Yeah. Let's see. Big Super says, I think have Braun another match on the card and maybe get jumped by Lesnar, but to set him up, cashing in later in the night. Yeah, but the thing is, what reason does Lesnar have for jumping Braun?
Yeah, and why would Braun need a reason to cash in? Like, his reason for cashing in is, I'm going to win the championship and I have an advantage to win it. He doesn't need to have a reason to cash it in. He already has one.
Cam, that's not true. The only person who was declared to use the briefcase and did it was RVD, who won a one-night stand. John Cena did it when he won his championship.
No.
Yeah, he did. John Cena was Mr. Good Guy, and he said, I'm using this, and I'm going to have a title match in advance at the next pay-per-view, and then he lost.
Well, yeah, he's saying that has done it and won.
No, he said, who did it? And then he says, it was RVD who did it.
And did it. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, John Cena, I thought he was referring to and actually
RVD's
won.
The only one who's declared ahead of time and won. But John Cena is also declared ahead of time and he lost.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So, yeah, that's a nice little talk about the main event scene and all that. Yes, you did win. You won by one.
Yep.
So you get to hold on to that. I would just also like to state that I will have the record for most title defenses, and you won't because you only defend less amount of times. Hashtag paper champion.
Wait.
Hashtag you're not.
How?
You're not defending it as often as I am.
How is that even possible?
Because there's only one a month, and when I had it for 6 months, there were 2 every month.
That's not true because you lost it at WrestleMania, and there was a solid at least month and a half, if not 2 month gap.
I actually lost it at what was it, Elimination Chamber. You retained at WrestleMania.
I thought I won it at WrestleMania.
No, you won it at Elimination Chamber, and you defended it at WrestleMania.
Still, it's not that I'm not defending it. I don't get to choose.
Nope.
Okay. Well, the person who's being a sore loser is over here. The winner is the one holding the title.
And Big Super says that that apparently that John Cena didn't declare for a pay-per-view. He declared for Raw 1000, but he lost.
Yeah.
Anyway, we talked a lot about that, and we got to keep moving along. There was another thing that we want to talk about in retrospect that happened this week, more recently. That's the UK Championship Tournament. You're not Pete Dunne, so stop. Do something original. Be more original. Be yourself. That Miz did that. That's not original.
No, he didn't do that because he didn't have the title when he started doing this.
He did it when he had the spinner belt.
Yeah, but that's a spinner belt. That's not this belt.
Yeah, but when the spinner belt stopped being a spinner and was stationary, that's what he did.
Okay, fine. You asked for this.
No, you do not do that. I won that. That is a prized possession. You do not get to do that. Besides, I think Val Venus might have done that. Nope. All right, I guess that's a thing. Fine. Ruin your shirt. There.
Nice
you're at least being original. Somebody should do that, by the way, with the championship. Why has nobody done that before?
TM.
Okay, so the UK tournament for the UK championship was good. Run it over for me. You've got the cards on your hands. I thoroughly enjoyed both days, which I was able to watch.
All right, so
I am a big fan of some of these UK guys now that I haven't really watched much of before. I've heard of Joe Coffey before, or
Joe Coffey.
Joe Coffey, and he's awesome. His brother is good. Airly, what's up in the chat?
I'm a little upset that he beat Dave Mastiff. I was hoping to see Mastiff go a little farther in the tournament. But there were the quarterfinal matches for day one, which the first match was Zach Gibson defeating Gentleman Jack Gallagher. Jack Gallagher is so good. I'm glad they let him showcase more of his stuff now.
Gibson's good too, also.
Gibson's really good. We got Flash Morgan Webster defeating Jordan Devlin.
I think Flash Morgan Webster is my favorite UK guy now. I just love his persona. He doesn't do the most flashiest stuff, but like in the Mod Father, I love it. Yeah. It's such a throwback to 60s. Mid to late 60s England and like the Rolling Stones and all that
Beatles
stuff.
And all that,
not so much the Beatles, more the Rolling Stones and the Who and Mick Jagger and stuff like that.
Yeah. Really, really good. I'm a huge fan of all these UK guys, which is why I'm so excited about something that we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, he defeated Jordan Devlin, which I was happy about. But there's one thing I'm going to point out, which is, do you know when the last time Jordan Devlin had lost a match was?
Was it when he lost the final of the last year's UK Tournament Championship?
He was in the finals, but when he lost,
it was in the semifinal. They lost to Tyler Bate.
When he lost to Tyler Bate in last year's UK tournament.
I mean, Devlin's good too, but I love Flash Morgan Webster.
Yeah, but I'm just like, that was like, wow, that's very good for Flash Morgan Webster. Then we had Joe Coffey defeat Dave Mastiff.
That was a good friggin' match for two big men. I loved it.
Like I said, I wanted to see Mastiff win that one, but hey, good for Coffey. And then we had Travis Banks defeating Ashton Smith.
Travis Banks is a good one.
Yeah.
He's good.
I really love him. He's so good. The Kiwi buzzsaw. The semifinals saw Zach Gibson defeat Flash Morgan Webster.
Boo. But I will say Zach Gibson is very good.
Liverpool's number one.
And his match Gates. The next day was really good. Yeah. But I love Flash Morgan Webster so much that I wanted him in the finals. I wanted him to win and face Pete Dunne.
And then we also got Travis Banks defeating Joe Coffey, who then attacked Travis Banks
I
afterwards.
liked the psychology that was used in this tournament though. Because Kofi's win against Mastiff took so much out of him that like it ended up catching up to him. Coffey, whatever.
Yeah.
Joe
well,
Coffey.
You had said Mastiff, which is the guy that Coffey had beaten.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh.
I was saying Coffey's match with Mastiff took so much out of him that it made him like.
You had said Banks' match with Mastiff. That's why I was trying to
I was saying.
But, okay,
I was saying
we understand where you're coming
Coffey's
from
match with Mastiff took so much out of him that allowed Banks to capitalize, and it eventually caught up to Coffey in the end, which caused him to lose against Banks, and then he took it out, attacking the shoulder of Banks, which eventually came in to play big time match in the final against Zach Gibson.
Yeah, exactly.
So I loved the psychology of the tournament.
Yes. And before we get to that final match, I just want to quickly point out that they had a 6-man tag match that I absolutely loved between British Strong Style and Undisputed Era. So it was Tyler Bate, Trent Seven, and Pete Dunne defeating Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong.
Baby.
So good. Then we also had a triple threat match between Toni Storm, Killer Kelly, and Isla Dawn, which was... Yeah. Toni Storm's really good.
Yeah.
Killer Kelly and Isla Dawn were not doing as good.
Yeah, it was kind of it was the low point I think of the weekend, that triple threat match. It may end the women's women's singles match that wasn't the championship match the next day.
Yeah. And I did not see, so I guess I either missed it or they didn't air it. They did Amir Johnson versus Joseph Connors.
I didn't see that either, so they might not have aired it. That or I just wasn't. That might have been while I was distracted doing stuff for work.
Well, I watched the whole thing and I don't remember seeing it all. So, all right. But then the final match of the tournament was Zach Gibson versus Travis Banks, and Liverpool's #1 Zach Gibson beat Travis Banks with the Shangli Gates.
Yep.
And that was a pretty damn good match, especially with that whole psychology.
Yeah.
And then we move on to night 2, which was the fucking barn burner of this show.
Dropping that F-bomb, getting that E rating.
Yep. Well, I mean, after all, the first match was Undisputed Era defending their tag team titles.
And holy hell, was that a good match.
Against
that
Mustache
was
Mountain.
So good.
Oh, it was so good with Mustache Mountain winning the tag titles.
Telephone. Somebody always call. You know, we only maybe get like 3 to 5 calls a week to this house.
Yep.
From here, and the phone always rings. Without fail, always rings when we record a podcast.
Sounds about right. But yeah, so Mustache Mountain beat Undisputed Era for the NXT Tag Team Championships, and just to see the reaction of Bate and Seven after they won the titles, it was amazing, and it made me so happy. And I'm so glad that at least for a brief period of time, every member of British Strong Style had held some kind of WWE gold all at the same time, because at that point, Mustache Mountain was the tag team champions and Pete Dunne is the UK champion.
I won't be, because we found out eventually that Undisputed Era won them back at the NXT tapings.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be surprised if the reason why they did that was that way they could hold the NXT tag titles, because I'm pretty sure Mustache Mountain is going to win the NXT UK tag titles.
Either they're going to win, or maybe someone else like the Coffey brothers might win.
Mm-hmm. Big Stupid, the phone ring is my favorite bit.
Yeah.
Cam says, I think Amir Jordan's match was put on YouTube or something.
Okay. But yeah, after that, we had the NXT North American Championship match of Adam Cole defending against Wolfgang.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't the best match on the card.
It was all right.
But I enjoyed it. I always enjoy Wolfgang's work. I know there are a good amount of people that don't, but I think he is great for a big man.
Yeah. Just real quick before we get too far away from that tag title match, I loved the way that crowd popped. And I loved that the crowd, you could tell from the way they said 1, 2, that even though Roddy Strong was out on the side of the ring, nowhere close to breaking up the pin, they still said 1, 2 as if they expected Kyle O'Reilly to kick out. and for Roddy Strong to break up the pin. Like, they still, even though it was obvious there was no way this pin was getting broken up, they were still like, there's no way. There's no way. Yeah. 1, 2, and then 3, and they all just lost their minds.
And I just loved Tyler Bates' reaction to it. He just, so good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I also love how after Adam Cole beat Wolfgang, he did the whole Adam Cole baby thing, and the crowd chanted one more time. He's like, all right, and did it again. Then we had one hell of a match of Shayna Baszler defending the NXT Women's Championship against Toni Storm.
Okay.
That was a pretty damn good match, at least in my opinion. I like how it ended by Toni Storm being counted out.
I don't remember much of it, but I do remember that she got counted out, and I remember that it was good.
Yeah, she got put into the Kiributa clutch in the ring twice.
Got to the ropes.
Reached the ropes twice.
And then crawled out to get away, but because she was so drained from having to escape twice that she couldn't get back in the ring.
Well, no, what it was is she got out of it, and I don't remember if she crawled out of the ring or Shayna threw out.
She crawled out from the ropes the second time.
But Shayna went out of the ring and put her in it again on the outside of the ring, and then left her there.
Okay.
So that's why she lost by countout. And then Shayna went to go to the back, and Toni got back in the ring and started getting up, and Shayna came out and did the Kiributa driver into the Kiributa clutch and just slapped it on her again just for extra measure after the match was already over.
That's great heel stuff.
Yeah. It was
Plus,
really
it actually makes her look strong, which is good because if they put her up against Shayna and made her look this good against Shayna, that means she's probably the favorite to win the NXT UK Women's Championship.
And you know what match I'm hoping is going to be the first match for that title, because I think it'll be absolutely amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Toni Storm versus Piper Niven, who is not there this time, but they have had a lot of long-standing rivalries, and in the Mae Young Classic, they had a really good match, and I'm hoping we get that.
Cam says apparently Ginny got injured in the women's Fatal 4-Way match, and thus it wasn't shown on the network.
Yeah, this woman, Ginny, was supposed to be in the match with Toni Storm, Killer Kelly, and
that triple
Hila
threat
Daw.
match?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a Fatal 4-Way match, but then she got injured, so it got turned into a triple threat.
Okay.
Let's see.
Which that match was all right.
Yep.
Triple threat match.
After that, we got what was supposed to be a triple threat match of Mark Andrews versus Flash Morgan Webster versus Travis Banks
for the number one contendership for the UK title,
yep.
Which I was already like awesome.
Yeah.
But wait, there's more.
And then Noam Dar, the Scottish Supernova, made his return to be in the match.
Returns to the UK, and it's his first match back from injury.
Yep, and he won. And goddamn, was that match good.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I had to say is, like, I went into that match, and including Noam Dar going in, my thoughts on it were, I would really like to see Travis Banks win this, but I am 100% fine with literally anyone winning this match. Because I think whoever wins the title could have a great match against Travis Banks, or against Mark Andrews, or against Flash Morgan Webster, or against Noam Dar.
And I mean, it works for Dar, because Dar's the one guy who will probably end up being a heel when like they start working in the storylines for NXT UK, so it makes sense, because Pete Dunne is so over as a face.
Yeah.
For Dar to go against him, because Dar's a heel.
A guy who openly admitted on NXT TV that he is a piece of garbage is one of the most over guys in NXT brand
because he's
general.
so young and so talented.
Yeah.
Cam says, I love Noam Dar. I hope he gets used properly in the UK division. I'm sure he will. I'm pretty sure he'll get used a lot better than he did on 205 Live, which is why I'm glad his return match was for the number one contendership, because it means he's in the UK division.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure Dar's going to get used right now, finally.
Now, the thing that confuses me, though, is what they're going to do with Jack Gallagher. Because they made it seem like he's going to be part of the UK division, but he's already confirmed that he's going back to 205 Live. So I don't know if he's going to do both or what. Because I mean, the UK stuff is going to be taping, so he could do both.
He could do both. We'll I guess we'll find out when the taping starts. The first taping is at the end of July, right?
Yeah, and it's not like people wrestle every week on 205 Live. They like wrestle every other week, basically. So it'd be easy for them to not have them on 205 Live for 1 week, since they do that anyway.
You know what's funny? Like, I want to start watching 205 Live, and I need to get back to NXT. I feel like with this UK division, if you don't mind, before we get to the UK Championship match, let's talk about the UK
there's
division.
Something else to get to before that.
Well, let's talk about the UK. Since we're talking about it, let's get to the UK division announcement because it was announced before this tournament. They announced that the tapings. They announced there will be a UK division with a tag title and a women's title. I just want to. I'm starting to lose my train of thought. I think we're talking about what was it, Dar and Gallagher, and everything. God, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, the point I was trying to get to is that like with the UK division, if it does well, I'm curious if this is going to be like the first step in like an actual like WWE globalization via regionalization, where maybe we'll get eventually an NXT Japan.
That's what I was gonna say. Is I feel like would be the next step is eventually doing NXT Japan.
Yeah. So and then maybe another NXT like somewhere else, like maybe I don't know if they would do one in Saudi Arabia or the Middle East. Probably not. But
they might do like NXT Mexico.
They could do NXT Mexico maybe, or NXT
Central America.
Maybe NXT Canada if they wanted to. But then again, in the North Americans Championships in NXT, and the main NXT is US and whatnot. But like again, an NXT Japan would be great. But this I remember what the point I was getting to is that like say this does well, and then they do expand like that. I feel like I want to watch the UK division. I feel like I need to get back in NXT. I feel like I want to get into 205 Live.
Oh yeah.
It's funny because almost all the wrestling I want to watch in WWE is not the main roster stuff.
Exactly. It's insane.
Like I don't want to watch. I don't care for the main rosters. All I care with the main roster stuff is just keeping in touch with the storylines and watching the pay-per-views. But like I want to watch all the other shows weekly. What did I miss?
Sorry, I just remembered something huge that I did not want to blurt out right away.
Okay,
which
hold
is
on.
something...
You want me to mention what they said in
Sure.
chat real quick? Cam says, by the way, I wonder what tag teams will be in the UK division other than the Kofis and Mustache Mountain, because I know one of the best UK teams turned down a contract. We'll see, because if they've got enough guys signed up, they could always just form tag teams out of guys who are there in the division.
Yeah.
And Big Super says he thinks New Japan would do everything in their power to block that. I think so too, but you never know. They might not have the legal authority to prevent that.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if WWE eventually reaches some deals with some of the lesser Japan promotions, kind of like what they did in the UK.
They just did, which is the thing I wanted to point out.
Yeah.
Which is they recently made a deal, which I think this is huge. WWE has come to terms to share WWE superstar Hideo Itami with Pro Wrestling Noah in Japan.
There you go. That's the first step. That's the first step to WWE trying to do WWE 2K. They WWE NXT Japan. They let Kenta go back and do some Pro Wrestling Noah stuff. Maybe then they get access to Pro Wrestling Noah talent. Maybe to appear specially on NXT or 205 Live. They've already got Tozawa and Itami. Mm-hmm. They won't put Nakamura on there because Nakamura's the main star, but they've already got Itami and they've already got Itami. They've already got Tozawa. Technically, if they wanted to like give Gallows and Anderson a new lease on life, they were huge in Japan.
Yep.
You take those guys. Maybe you take some of the Pro Wrestling Noah talent. Sign them, maybe get a deal with Pro Wrestling Noah. Maybe you turn Pro Wrestling Noah into NXT Japan, or you do what WWE is doing with some of these other UK people, where it's like you can work with NXT Japan, but you can also work and get paid by Pro Wrestling Noah.
Yeah,
because that's what they're trying to do, I think, with the UK division.
Yeah, I mean, they have people like Pete Dunne and stuff. They don't do like World of Sport, but Pete Dunne is regularly on like Progress and Destiny and all that kind of stuff. But there is one other thing that it reminds me of with them saying New Japan would do everything in their power to block that. Did you hear about the recent issues with WWE and ROH?
No, are they having a falling out? Because I know that they were on good terms like the last like 4 or 5 years.
WWE fucked ROH over big time.
Who did they try to take?
They didn't try to take anyone. It's where they took from them. ROH made a verbal agreement and then announced on their show that during SummerSlam weekend, ROH was going to be running its first ever show in Madison Square Garden. WWE got word of that and talked with them, and because of that, Madison Square Garden pulled out of the deal.
Woof.
And this is because they didn't have a written agreement or anything yet, and this is after ROH had already announced to their audience this was going to happen.
SummerSlam weekend it was supposed to happen, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, woof.
And the thing is, apparently Madison Square Garden is looking out to try and bring more wrestling promotions into there and stuff because WWE hasn't been going there anymore. They've been going to the Barclays
Center. It's because the Garden
Center.
charges so much.
Yeah.
The Garden charges so much for WWE to run shows there. That's why they only do house shows, because it's too much money for them to do a Raw or a pay-per-view there now.
But it's
That's why you never see it anymore.
They're trying to get these other companies coming in now. WWE's trying to fight back about it. And it's a matter of if you don't want anyone else going in there, why don't you use it?
Yeah, Madison Square Garden might be like, well, you're not giving us the big shows that we want. But yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
So it'll be very interesting to see if they try to invade Japan and create an NXT Japan in partnership with Pro Wrestling Noah and try to put pressure on New Japan, because you got to understand also, New Japan's starting to do shows in California on the west coast of the states. They're starting to come to the states. So like WWE and with the success of the last few Wrestle Kingdoms and Domination, and with Omega and Okada and all that stuff and Jericho going over, even though Vince gave Jericho his blessing, you got to understand, like, from a business perspective, they got to start thinking, New Japan's starting to cut into our business. We might want to, and this Japanese market itself also is pretty hot at the moment, and we got to try and get a slice of that. Let's see if we can make the UK work and then try to transition over to Japan. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I could easily see them trying to work something out with New Japan anyway, because, I mean, one thing I'll point out, they don't really mention ROH that much on TV. Sometimes they do, but not that often. They never really mention anything like Impact. But how many times have they pointed out things like the fact that Gallows and Anderson are former IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, and that AJ Styles is a former IWGP Champion, and things like that. They mention
Brock Lesnar, they bring that up too.
Yeah, they bring those things up on TV. Talk about how these people have wrestled for this company and held these titles.
Well, we'll see if they continue to reference that going forward. If the UK division takes off and they try to push harder into Japan, because if they try to push harder into Japan, and use a partnership with Pro Wrestling Noah, they might take a more competitors approach towards New Japan, whereas they just won't mention them at all.
Yeah. But anyway, we've gotten kind of off track.
Yeah.
And so there were two more matches on the card. One, which was, I think, a definite for second best match of the night, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Aleister Black and Ricochet versus EC3 and Velveteen Dream.
That was a good one.
That match was really good.
It was good.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I loved Velveteen at the end of the match, just walking out with his injured leg, and EC3 being like, come on, and turns around and does Black Mass.
I love how, he sold it for a while, and then when he finally relinquished, he's like, oh, crap, he's right behind me and about to kick me. Boom.
Yeah.
And he tried to ready up and prepare for it and still got clocked right in the face.
It was really good. But yeah, that happened. And then what I think was definitely match of the night, my favorite match, featuring my current favorite superstar in WWE and pretty much all wrestling right now, WWE UK champion Pete Dunne defending his UK championship against Zach Gibson.
That was a good match.
That was such a good match. And I love that they had Pete Dunne putting the Shangly Gates a couple of times and getting out of it.
And Gibson kicked out of the bitter end.
Yeah, he's the first person to do that. And I love how the second to last move was Pete Dunne snapping the fingers of Zach Gibson.
Snapped the fingers, and then what did he do? He did something right between that and the bitter end. What did he do again? I know he hit him didn't he just punch him, strike him really hard?
He probably hit him with a really hard forearm, because that's one of his things is he hits with really hard forearms.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that match was so good. And while I was kind of hoping to see that there'd be a new UK champion, because I'm hoping for Pete Dunne to go off, I'm not terribly surprised he didn't lose, because I don't know if you listened to it, but I went and listened to Jericho did an episode of Talk is Jericho with all three members of British Strong Style.
Mm-hmm.
And while the audio was kind of messed up, so you couldn't hear Jericho and Bate that well,
Dunne and Severin,
they were talking, mainly Dunne, about how their main goal in WWE as Dumpy, he's like, a lot of people are saying that they want me to go up to the main roster. They want to see me start going after the Intercontinental Championship and stuff. But I'm still young. I've got time to do this stuff.
He's what, 23?
24.
He's 24, and Bate is 20, almost 21, right?
Yeah. And he pointed out, like, my main thing right now is I want to get a UK show. That's what the goal of all this has been. I'll look into other things after that, but that's my main focus is I want to get a UK show going for all of my guys here that I know can kill it.
Mm-hmm.
And now that's happening. So I'm not surprised that he retained because he's going to be leading that up
Good
now.
guy, Pete Dunne.
Oh, yeah.
And
Triple
trust me.
H has even pointed out that he thinks Pete Dunne is going to be a future WWE champion. So it's not like he's not going to go anywhere.
Pete Dunne, unless he suffers some traumatic, like really bad successive injuries, he is going to be a superstar. He's going to be the first UK-born WWE champion or Universal champion, like without a doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's like 2 to 4 years away.
He'll be the first Brit to hold a world title in WWE.
Yeah, once he gets to the main roster, I think he's gonna go get shot right straight up. But I think for the next year, he's probably gonna stick around and be the star, the main draw for the UK brand for its first year.
Now, here's one thing that I think would be amazing, but I know isn't gonna happen. I could easily see
that we had an Irish WWE champion, and he's from Main Ireland, not Northern Ireland, which isn't the UK. But so technically from that area, that part of the world, yes, there has been, but Ireland is not a part of the UK.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah,
you really Cam thinks that Drew Galloway might beat that. He could. With
the way they're booking him right now,
that's true.
I don't know.
He could. I forgot that Galloway is running around with Ziggler, so we'll see.
You know what I think would be the biggest swerve WWE could do? And I feel like this would be the best swerve that they could ever do, but I know it's not going to happen.
What?
We need someone to take the title off of Pete Dunne. Who are we going to do it with? You know, we're really sorry about the way we've treated you in the past, Neville. We've got something special for you. I doubt that'll happen.
Or if you want to, or if you want, and if he's willing, as a way to maybe relaunch his career. Hey, Pete Dunne, it's glad to see that you've been able to retain this championship for so long, but I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Yeah, except I don't think he's coming back anytime soon.
I would love to see Bad News Barrett, Wade Barrett, Stu Bennett, however you call, whatever name you want to call him by, come back. Yeah. Actually, if he can't really wrestle that much anymore, because I think he's been doing general manager stuff for like
at least a year
for other UK promotions. I would like to see him come in and maybe the next GM, an eventual future GM of the UK division.
I mean, that probably will happen. It's just right now they got Johnny Saint, which I'm not complaining about at all.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I think that about does it for that. Yeah, so I'm excited to see where they go with the UK brand. It's probably the thing I'm most excited about with WWE right now because those guys I think have been the best of the best for a while in terms of talent in WWE now, especially all of British Strong Style. So I'm excited to see where they go from here with it.
Yeah, and Cam, I know that Barrett's involved in World of Sport right now, but I'm talking like hypotheticals in the future.
Yeah,
I mean when his World of Sport stuff is done.
Yeah, I mean, look at people like
just fantasy booking for
Kurt Angle and stuff being part of Impact, and now they're back in WWE all these years later. I could easily see that happening. I mean, Wade Barrett's held the Intercontinental title several times, so I could easily see him being hailed as a big name being brought back. So.
Oh, and one last thing I would like to say really quick before we move on from the UK division stuff is if people are hoping that maybe one day Will Ospreay will get signed soon and go into the UK division, don't count on it, because Will Ospreay had interviews with What Culture and he went to go see the Cultaholic guys who were former What Culture guys, and they talked to him, and he said he doesn't want to go to NXT if he gets signed by WWE. He says he wants to go the AJ Styles route. He has things he wants to do in Japan and in other parts of the world, and until he accomplishes that, he doesn't want to go to WWE. Yeah. And he wants to achieve the same level of success that Styles and Nakamura, well, maybe more so Styles, and then maybe eventually Omega, if he ever eventually goes over, where he's basically done everything, And because of his accolades, he just goes straight to the main roster. He doesn't go to NXT.
Yeah,
so don't expect to see Will Ospreay in WWE anytime soon if you were hoping with the UK division happening that maybe he'd sign and go to the UK division.
One other person I'd like to see come, but I also highly doubt will be coming anytime soon, is Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, he did the Cruiserweight Classic, but I mean, they've had 2 UK title tournaments and he hasn't showed up in that. So
yeah, I think that was more of a one-off thing. I think Zack Sabre Jr. got a taste for it and was like, no thanks, I'm good.
Yeah, but I'm getting a feeling. I still think it's at least a few years away, but with what you just described of what Zack Sabre Jr. wants to do, I think that's the reason why in a few years we're gonna finally.
You mean what Will Ospreay wants to do?
Will Ospreay, yeah. That's when we're gonna see Kenny and the Young Bucks eventually go to WWE because they've had stuff they want to do, and hey, look, the Young Bucks just won the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships, and Kenny Omega just won the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. Do that stuff for a while, maybe a few other things, and then in a few years they might be ready to go to WWE.
Yeah. Cam says Ospreay is very indie. He is indeed. He's wanting to help out the Australian scene grow at the minute while also doing some Japan and UK stuff. Yeah, that's the thing. Like Ospreay also said that he's very happy with what he's doing with New Japan. He gets an annual contract. He gets paid a good solid wage, and he has a freedom to pretty much do whatever he wants. And he has a freedom with New Japan to where he doesn't have to ask for permission. He just has to ask for forgiveness if he does something that they don't like, and then he just doesn't do it again.
Exactly.
And he said that's one of the main reasons why he doesn't want to join WWE, because he's talked to guys that he knows who are in NXT, and they've told him about things that like the writers and producers have told them to do that they maybe don't agree with, and he's like, I don't want people to be like telling me where to take my character, at least not at this point. He says he wants the freedom to be able to do whatever he wants.
Yeah. All right. Well,
Cam also says that he can't see the Bucks going to WWE unless they get a hell of a lot of money or some creative control.
Well, I mean, that's what other people have done, and that's why I'm saying it's going to be a while off, but I think eventually them doing it.
Again, I think if the Young Bucks do it, they'll do like what Ospreay was saying, do the AJ Styles thing where basically they've done everything they can. They have maybe a few years left in their career, and they're like, let's do it to do it and see if, and like,
just go
we know that we've done so much that once we go in there, we'll be on the main roster. We'll get put into title matches, and we will get get good bookings and stuff like that.
Yep, exactly.
I think that's the only way the Bucks go to the WWE.
Yeah, and I think that's what's going to happen. But like I said, I think that's still years away.
Yeah. Okay. So we talked the UK tournament, UK division. Quickly. You want to run through things that happened this week, real quick? Just a few of the bigger things.
Sure. There's a new Intercontinental Champion,
which is a thing.
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler.
Ziggy boy
came in answering Seth Rollins' open challenge and won the Intercontinental Championship, in which he is now a 6-time Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah. Which makes you ask the question. I don't think this is why when we were talking about the title match earlier for Universal, why I think Rollins might be involved in the Universal Championship match at SummerSlam, because I could see him losing at Extreme Rules and then moving on to the Universal title picture, because he's been on such a hot streak and so on fire, and people want to see him wrestle, and people kind of want to see him battle Lesnar instead of Roman. They might see him versus Brock, or him get involved in a triple threat kind of thing, unless you want to do something to where he fights. I mean, I think it'd be better if he had the title and to do this with the title, unless they want to move them up to the main roster scene and the Universal title scene eventually, is that maybe he stops McIntyre from interfering. It looks like he's going to win. Ambrose comes back, costs him the championship, and then they just have a one-on-one non-title rivalry and a one-on-one match at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
The two of them.
It's possible.
But anyway.
Yeah, so that happened. We also got a team reuniting, and it feels so good.
Who reunited again? Who?
The guy from Hell and the guy that likes to say yes and the opposite of yes a lot.
Wait.
That's right, the Basham Brothers.
The two-man power trip is back? Triple H and Austin? Oh, man, I thought Austin was never going to wrestle again.
Oh, that's where they got you.
No, it's the Bushwhackers, right? It was the Bushwhackers? The Bushwhackers?
No, they're going to the UK division.
Right? The Bushwhackers?
They're going to team up with Travis Banks.
It was the Bushwhackers.
Now, but Team Hell No reunited, and they're apparently going to be wrestling the Bludgeon Brothers for the SmackDown Tag Titles.
Apparently, Kane. I haven't seen the photos, but apparently Kane is not in shape, or like he's filling out his gear a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you start taking breaks from wrestling and stuff to go on the campaign trail. So.
Yeah, which I mean he needs to do if he wants to win his election. I feel like this is a last hurrah. I think this is something to keep Daniel Bryan busy until his contract expires if he doesn't re-sign. Which God, I hope he does because I want to see him win the WWE Championship again.
I think part of it is because he loved it so much.
It provides Kane with a last hurrah because I think once this election happens, I think whether he wins or loses, I think he might be done.
Yeah.
Or he'll just be a strictly on camera like personality. He won't really wrestle that much anymore, if ever.
Or at the very least, just like a behind the scenes guy doing
like
stuff
a producer or something.
Similar to even possibly similar stuff to like what Paul White Big Show's doing, where he's just, you got a task for me? All right, I'll go take care of it. You want me to go talk to these guys? All right, I'll go talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
Could see him going that route.
Yeah, and it'd be nice. You can maybe have them win the championship from the Bludgeon Brothers and have them have one last quick little title run.
Because I know Brian was saying that was one of his favorite things that he's done in WWE.
Oh, it was great.
Kane.
It was one of the highlights of the last 10 years, Team Hell No.
Yeah.
Get Dr. Shelby back. Send them to anger management. They can have it with Bailey. Get Bailey involved.
That's what
Bailey
I was going to say. Once that whole thing was announced about Bailey needing therapy, apparently someone as a Dr. Shelby Twitter account started tweeting like, I know just the man for the job.
Dr. Shelby's like, I put in a request to move you over to SmackDown so that way you could learn under my best students. Yeah. And there's Team Hell No. Now you've got a team of 3.
Yep.
Do it.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, quick side thing. Apparently, WWE's in Japan right now, and I just recently saw a picture of Bailey with Kota Ibushi.
Nice.
Yeah, just hanging out apparently.
But speaking of Bailey, it's so dumb.
Yep.
That she finally snaps on Sasha, and the crowd cheers, and it's like, you need to go to anger management. Later on in the show, Braun Strowman flips a car. Oh well, he's just the monster in the bank.
I mean, to be fair, the last time they tried to do something to Braun Strowman like that, he beat up a bunch of security guards, he flipped one of their production vehicles, and he basically was murdering people until Stephanie McMahon said you're rehired. It's
just ridiculous. I find it ridiculous, the double standard and lack of continuity, that's all.
I do too, but that'll be fixed soon when they have Bailey flip a car next week.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
God.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Other than that, looks like we're getting Ciampa and Aleister Black. They had a nice debut for Lio Rush on 205 Live, as well as 6-man tag match, 6-man elimination tag match of Lucha House Party versus Gulak, Kendrick, and Gentleman Jack Gallagher. And they're setting up for Hideo Itami versus Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight Championship.
That's gonna be good.
You know what I'm hoping they eventually set up for? I doubt it, but I'm hoping SummerSlam we get a minimum of a 6-man ladder match for the Cruiserweight Championship. I'm talking Cedric Alexander, Mustafa Ali, Buddy Murphy, Hideo Itami,
Gentleman
Drew
Jack Gallagher,
TJP.
Make it a 7-man. Put in Jack Gallagher. Put Jack Gallagher in there.
Jack Gallagher, yeah, but there was someone else I was thinking of because there are so many people
Brian
that
Kendrick?
are ready for. No, it's gonna kill me. But they've got a bunch of people who are doing single stuff.
Brian Kendrick, Kalisto, Tozawa.
Kalisto is who I was thinking of because Kalisto doing the whole Lucha House Party thing rivalry with Drew Gulak would pair up nice with that. But those are all guys who are doing great single stuff that have not much going on and could all go after the Cruiserweight Championship. And I would love to see them just be like, you know what? You guys all deserve a shot. So we're just going to have all you in one match to determine who's the Cruiserweight champion. Mm-hmm. And I would love to see Buddy Murphy come out on top in that, but I don't know if that would actually happen.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be good to give Itami the championship because he hasn't won a championship yet in WWE and he's been so plagued with injuries and the whole stuff with Noah. If he does stuff with Noah, maybe they let him bring the Cruiserweight Championship with him when he does his appearances there. Yeah. Like, I think that would be good. Good for him. Good for the expanding the brand of WWE.
If they do something like that, I have a feeling if anyone's going to be a new champion, it'll probably be Drew Gulak, though, because he has just been on fire. You know what his most recent thing was as to his most recent rivalry?
No.
It was with Lucha Underground, Lucha House Party. And it wasn't just him and Gallagher and Brian Kendrick all teaming up to take them on. Because they did that once in a regular six-man match, and they lost. But the fact that it was Drew Gulak facing each and every single member of Lucha House Party in one-on-one matches, and he beat every single one of them one-on-one. And then to top it off, they did this six-man tag match that was elimination that saw Drew Gulak getting 2 eliminations and the victory. So he has just been on fire. The only 2 matches he's lost in the last several months are that 6-man tag match, which wasn't really him getting the loss. I think it was Jack Gallagher getting pinned Brian Kendrick got pinned with the tights pulled by Lince Dorado, and then losing to Jack Gallagher in the UK Championship Tournament. Other than that, he has been on fire, and I see him getting the Cruiserweight title at some point soon.
Yeah. Oh, we'll be good.
Yeah. So you want to go over E3 quickly?
Well, I was just gonna. Well, first we need to do the transition. We're all that'll just about do it for the wrestling, I think. Unless there's anything else you think we should bring up.
Well, we should probably talk about.
I was gonna say let's transition into video games, and let's why don't we talk about E3 before we go into that, because that's stuff that happened after E3. We talk about E3 first.
There was stuff that happened before E3 too, though. God.
Like what?
Like all these reworks they'd done. Like they did a rework on Symmetra, and they redid the social stuff on it, and they also redid the lunar Horizon Lunar Colony map and things like that.
Fine, if you must, go ahead and talk about your precious Overwatch.
Okay. Also, there's a new hero who goes by the name of Wrecking Ball.
That was after E3. You just said you were going to talk about pre-E3 stuff.
Well, I did, and I'm just getting this out of the way quickly. So yeah, his name's Wrecking Ball. But you may know him better by the pilot of Wrecking Ball, which is Hammond the Hamster.
Yep.
Yes. He is basically in a giant metal hamster ball and has guns on it and stuff. It looks fun to play, and he's going to be a tank category, but there you have it. That's the next hero. Hero 28, a hamster. So,
yep.
Wanted to keep it short and sweet, and wanted to make sure I got it in there, and, of course, did it when you were least expecting it. Ha ha ha.
Good for you.
Yep. So, in regards to E3, I think my favorite thing out of all of E3 easily was Fallout 76.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm so excited for it. It's going to be the largest game they've had. It's going to be open world. It's going to be multiplayer. It's going to have cryptids. It's going to be amazing.
I think like some people aren't really onto the whole online thing, but I like it. I like it's going to be just shared world. You can run around. You can do things solo. You can do things with groups. There are some people were like, yeah, but it's only going to be players. No, it's not. There are going to be NPCs around there for you to fight.
Hopefully.
If you take up, well, no, they showed as an example. If you want to like launch the nukes, you have to team up with other people because you have to kill like NPCs that are guarding the silos. So it shows that like the world is going to have NPCs in the world for you to fight and do things. I'm pretty sure it's not just like a survival against everybody else. You also have NPCs you got to fight and other stuff you've got to do.
Well,
and I mean, it's modeled also after DayZ and stuff like that, where like, yes, there were players around, but there were also zombies. There were NPC zombies that could kill you.
Well, yeah, it's obvious that they're going to have NPC enemies, but the main thing people are concerned about is things like NPC not enemies, which a lot of people are thinking there isn't going to be. They're thinking that the only people who aren't going to fight you maybe are other players, but that other players can just attack you too. And one of the other bigger concerns is, all right, me and my friends, we've been working for months. We've built this awesome shelter. It's able to defend against any kind of giant cryptid that comes to attack us. And then some group of 12-year-old haters gets a nuke and destroys your camp.
Yeah, well, we'll see, because who knows if it's maybe just that map, and then maybe when you reload back in, maybe it's still there.
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see.
Who knows? But I will say I did admit that part. When I saw the nukes, I sent out a tweet, and I was like, Bethesda, let's make it so that way, let's make these these missile silos where a bunch of gamers can launch nukes at each other. What could go wrong?
Yeah, exactly. But
I kind of do like the idea from a lore standpoint, to where it's like technically the fallout from the war wasn't that bad, and it was kind of the inhabitants of Vault 76, who kind of messed it up worse because there were still nukes around and they just launched nukes at each other instead of learning from the past.
Yeah, pretty much.
I kind of like that. It's like, congratulations, you're all assholes.
Yep. But yeah, it looks real good. I know that I would prefer it being like a regular Fallout game with the ability to have other people join you, kind of like they've done with the Far Cry games. But I'm totally fine with this too. So long as I get more Fallout, and if I get to play with other people, I'm excited for it.
Yeah. You keep hitting into that mic. Are you okay?
I'm incredibly tired. I got 3 hours of sleep last night, and then we went golfing.
Yeah. So other games at E3 that we want to talk about, bigger ones. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I am so excited for. It made me. I need to buy and play Origins. There's so much I need to play. I need to play God of War and finish God of War. Then I want to play FIFA to complete the journey because FIFA, the new FIFA is coming out. But I also want to play Assassin's Creed Origins so that way I'm ready when Assassin's Creed Odyssey comes out.
Yeah, I need to just finish Origins.
Because, it looks so much fun. It's like open world. You can run around. Athens, Sparta, all these other things. There are mercenaries. It's happening during the Peloponnesian, that's how it's pronounced. Wars, which is basically wars between Sparta and Athens. Which is interesting. But those take place before Origins. So the one thing that Ubisoft didn't explain that I'm most curious about is how does this tie into the Assassins and the Templars? You theorized, I believe, I can't remember, I don't know if we talked about this on the podcast before.
It was definitely before E3.
I don't know if we did it on the podcast or if it was just off podcast. You brought this up, but you think that this might be the formation of the Templars. Right?
I don't know if it's that. What I think it is, that I figured it out, is they point out
the first civilization.
No,
or whatever. Right.
I think it's going to be about finding pieces of Eden, because part of the whole storyline, starting with Black Flag and everything, was looking back through people's history that they've gotten the DNA of and everything, trying to trace the different pieces of Eden. And I think, because I mentioned that one of your greatest weapons of the game is you have the tip of Leonidas' spear, and that it's going to have
a piece of Eden,
and that's going to have a bunch of magical properties and stuff. And I think it's going to be that's a piece of Eden, and you're going through this history of this character to figure out what has happened to that piece of Eden.
Could be. Could potentially be.
And that's what what's their names? Abstergo was all about at the end of 4 and everything, is just using this stuff to try and find out where these pieces of Eden are so they could get them and use them. So that's what I think the main plot of this is going to be.
Yeah. Big Stupid saying, here's an idea, do a game stream. I wish I could, Big Stupid. I don't unless I'm trying to fit like game time in at like 11 o'clock midnight when I know all of you guys are asleep and nobody's gonna like really watch me. But like I only have like the times when I gameplay stream, those really are mostly the only times I get to play video games.
Yeah.
Nowadays. Or if I'm playing with the lady and she doesn't want to be on stream. Like that's the only exception. If it's late at night or I'm with the lady and she doesn't want to be on the live stream. She just wants us to game together in private. Otherwise, all my other game time is when I'm live on the stream with you guys. And I know you're just messing with me, but just wanted to point that out. So yeah, Assassin's Creed Odyssey looks like it's going to be good. You know what else is going to be good from Ubisoft that we saw? The Division 2.
That looks good.
It looks good. It looks fun. It's in DC. It's going to be 6 months after the outbreak, so it's the world trying to rebuild itself after the disease has run its course and the outbreak's run its course. I'm interested to see if your character is going to be the same character that was in the Division from New York, because at the end of one of the trailers, the storyline trailers, like you hear just like it follows like a path of just giving you a feel of what's going on with DC 6 months later, and then it ends panning back to a wide shot of the city with Division agents walking from outside the city into the city.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if maybe you've taken control of New York back for the Division, but you're sent to DC because DC is still in chaos.
It's quite possible.
In disarray. So
I wouldn't hate that.
Yeah. We saw some gameplay. It looks very similar to Division 1. I think until we see like leveling systems, maybe what the loot pool is going to be like, maybe what the end game content is going to be like. I won't be able to pass full judgment, but it looks just like the Division 1. The Division 1 I did have fun with.
Yeah.
It just didn't have much as far as end game went, and a lot of my and as far as like a carrot on a stick, something to chase when you got to the end game, and a lot of my friends stopped playing once we beat the campaign. And unfortunately, like it's a game because it's an MMO that you really can't play on your own.
Yeah, exactly.
So
yeah,
anything you want? I just listed off 2 games. What else are you excited for?
Ghosts of Tsushima.
Looks so good.
Looks so good. It looks so pretty.
I want it. I want it now. I want it in me. What?
Okay.
So you were saying samurai and stuff, right?
I mean, you've got katanas right over there. If you want me to stab you with one
Nope.
quickly.
I don't need to do ritual suicide. No, I'm good.
Well, it wouldn't be ritual
But no,
suicide.
Ghost of
It'd be
Tsushima.
ritual murder.
Ghost of Tsushima is really good. It looks gorgeous. It looks so much fun. From Sucker Punch. I can't wait.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be so good.
Oh my god, the combat was great. It was gory. I liked how there was the one part where you actually fought somebody. I saw that you were fighting somebody, and then like you eventually like you won the fight and you didn't kill the person. The person almost kind of became your ally and was like, okay, you beat me.
Yeah,
you bested me. Which I think is interesting. I'm
Yeah.
curious to see like why, if that has to do with the story or if that's like a system in the game. Like,
yeah. Well,
or what?
I think from the way it looked to me, it looks like it's part of the story, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
But another game I'm looking forward to.
What's that?
Mr. Spider-Man.
Mr. Spider-Man. I can't wait until they eventually reveal Doc Ock because they showed all the rest of the Sinister Six in the raft mission, which looks awesome. We got what? We already knew that Mr. Negative was happening. We knew that Norman Osborn was in it. We don't know if he's going to be the Green Goblin.
Yeah.
We saw Rhino, Electro, Mysterio, Mr. Negative.
Mysterio?
I think we saw Mysterio.
Because in this trailer we saw
Scorpion, Rhino, Electro, Mr. Negative, and then there was one other villain because there was 5 of 6, and it wasn't Venom. It wasn't Carnage. I'm pretty sure it was Mysterio.
No, because I don't remember seeing him in it. Let me see.
It wasn't Mysterio. It wasn't Sandman. It wasn't Shocker. It wasn't Morbius. It wasn't Kraven.
Let me think.
I'm running down the list of like who it isn't in case to try and help you.
Me. So first you saw Electro, then there was Rhino, then there was Scorpion, then there was someone else.
I think it was Mysterio.
No, because Mysterio has that special head. And I remember he was.
I'm pretty sure
there.
I remember seeing that special outfit.
No, I don't remember seeing Mysterio in it. It's gonna bother me. I feel like Vulture is who it was.
Ah, yeah, you're right. It was Vulture.
It was Vulture.
It was Vulture.
Yeah, and Mr. Negative. So that's what it was. Yeah.
And I think that Doc Ock has to be the one who's the leader of all that because wasn't Doc Ock the leader of the actual like Sinister Six in the comics?
I think so.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
I don't think Mr. Negative was ever in the Sinister Six, and I think it's and I'm not sure if I don't think Mr. Negative was in one of the original incantations of Sinister Six. I know Sandman was. I think Shocker was.
Yeah, I think the Lizard may have been.
I don't think the Lizard was.
No, not original. Actually,
I don't think was Scorpion part of the original Sinister Six. I know Vulture. I know Vulture and Doc Ock and Electro all were.
Electro or Shocker?
Electro.
Okay.
Electro was who we saw, by the way. Not it was. It was Electro. Vulture,
Electro is
Rhino,
the green and yellow,
Mr. Negative, and Scorpion.
Yeah.
We saw those 5.
But yeah, that game looks good, and everything I heard about it is that it plays really well.
I really hope we get to play as Miles Morales at some point.
Yeah.
Or that Miles Morales becomes a Spider-Man in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it ends with Miles Morales becoming Spider-Man, and they're both Spider-Mans. Or maybe Peter dies in the end, and you play as Miles Morales the other one. Or maybe like Peter gets hurt and is hospitalized. Miles will step up, but I want more involvement of Miles.
One thing I say is I think we're running a little long. Is there anything else you want to talk in depth about?
I'm trying to think. What were the games we were talking about before the stream? Because we were mentioning a few.
One that we had mentioned before was Last of Us 2.
Last of Us 2. That trailer was so good.
It was. I'm glad that
God.
it wasn't just brutal violence.
Yeah,
it was more than that.
When we saw what was there last year, I'm like, I don't know if I'm all that excited. But then they got the story, and they showed you playing as Ellie, and they showed how visceral all the combat was. I'm like, yes, this is the Last of Us that I remember. I am all aboard. Let's go.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Well, there is one other big game that I'm super excited for,
What's
which
that?
I think I'm gonna say this. Before I said Fallout 76 is the game I'm most excited for. Fallout 76 is the game I'm most excited for that we have a release time window and everything for.
Mm-hmm.
The game that I am most excited for that was revealed.
6?
No.
The space thing by Bethesda?
No. Not Starlight. Cyberpunk.
Oh my God, yes.
Cyberpunk looks so good.
Have you watched Altered Carbon, by the way?
No.
You need to watch Altered Carbon because it's another like cyberpunkish like neo-noir
I know about it. I just haven't watched it.
Like Blade Runner. And when I watched the Cyberpunk trailer, I got serious Blade Runner and Altered Carbon vibes from watching it.
I am so excited for it. And here's the thing that I find absolutely crazy, which is, did you know that while they didn't show any gameplay footage, that they actually had people brought into booths to watch live gameplay footage? And everything I heard is that it looks absolutely amazing.
I mean,
it looks like it
CD
plays
Projekt
amazing.
Red. They made The Witcher and The Witcher 2 and The Witcher 3.
Yeah, exactly. But it looks so good. Everything I'm hearing about it is that it plays really good and that people were playing it for 50 minutes and it was playing really good, and that's still not the full version of the game. I'm super excited for this game to come out.
Yeah. A couple other things I want to touch on. Kingdom Hearts 3. That stuff looks good. We're going to get a Frozen World, which was assumed. What was the other one? We got another reveal. Pirates is coming back, right? Pirates is coming back. I was kind of disappointed because I was really hoping Marvel was going to be a part of it. But Frozen was a given. So the lands confirmed so far is Mount Olympus. So we're going to get Hercules, Frozen, Tangled, Toy Story, and Pirates. I think those are the 5 worlds that we know of for a fact so far that are coming to Kingdom Hearts 3. And the more action I see of it, the more excited I get about it. And I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's do this.
Speaking of Marvel and disappointment, no word on that Square Enix Avengers game.
Yeah, the Square Enix presser was a
terrible
bummer. It was bad. We didn't get a reveal about their Marvel project. We didn't get any updates on the Final Fantasy VII thing.
Yeah.
That was bad. EA was bad. And Sony's was okay. Like the games that we saw were awesome, but it was presented weirdly.
Yeah.
Ubisoft was standard Ubisoft.
Yep.
And Microsoft was really good.
Yeah.
Gears of War 5. I am excited. We're gonna find out what's going on with Kate and what her connection to what we believe is her grandmother. We believe was the Locust Queen. So we're gonna learn more about that. It seems like she's trying to fight like voices in her head potentially of like they're trying to turn her into Locust Queen. So I'm excited for that.
Are you excited for Gears Funko Pop?
Actually, honestly, I thought that was cute.
It was cute,
cool.
but I'm just like,
I'm fine with it. Was there anything else at Xbox that stood out? Halo Infinite got announced, but until I see more of it, I'm really not gonna be like hell yes.
Yeah. Rumor has it might be an open world, or as I would like to call it, a circular world.
Yeah. What were the other big games? We saw stuff with Battlefield, which was okay. Forza Horizon. What else did we see? We saw more stuff at Ubisoft of Skull and Bones.
Yeah,
which
good.
It looks like they might have some non-ship to ship stuff, which could make it more intriguing. It definitely made me be like, okay, I'm willing to hear more.
Yeah.
So,
but we'll have to wait and see. There was one thing that I predicted, which was more stuff on the DLC for Sea of Thieves.
Yes,
which looks interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What exactly was it again that they were introducing?
Possible more enemies and more
almost like a raid type encounter, right? Or a dungeon type encounter.
Plus new areas that you could go to, and something else I'm blanking on. Oh yeah, and more story based stuff and everything for the game as well.
You know what else was a really cool reveal that we got?
What?
Jump Force.
Oh yeah, that was real good.
Jump Force looks interesting. Naruto versus Goku versus Monkey D. Luffy. We also saw Light Yagami and Ryuk, but apparently they're not going to be playable characters that might be tied to the storyline. We saw Frieza, so I'm hoping we get some Ichigo Kurosaki, we get some Bleach characters, and we also get Yusuke Urameshi and some Yu Yu Hakusho in there.
We need Yu Yu Hakusho, especially since they've recently announced that they're going to be doing more Yu Yu, that they're going to do another short season. We need to get some Yu Yu in that game.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what Laserscope's talking about. Are you talking about Jump Force garbage game? Gorgeous and terrible to play apparently. Well, hopefully it won't be like that when we actually play it.
He may be talking about maybe Skull and Bones.
Yeah, he'll clarify later in the chat.
And that is a gorgeous game from the looks of it.
Yeah, but Jump Force also looks gorgeous.
Yeah, true.
One other thing, Destiny 2. We got the expansion revealed, the story trailer with Forsaken, and we got revealed that Prince Uldren is the one who broke out the Forsaken out of the prison of elders, and that he killed Cade 6. Nathan Fillion's character dead.
He'll be fine.
No, Bungie has said he's dead. He's not fine.
He'll be fine.
No,
I'm talking about Nathan Fillion.
He's dead. DED. Oh, well, Nathan will be fine. Yeah, he's a very fine actor.
Yes.
He is very good at his art form.
Maybe
honing his craft.
Maybe his good friend Alan Tudyk could help him get roles as random animals in Disney movies.
Yeah, right. So yeah, very interesting. Definitely gives some personal feelings to longtime Destiny players and a good reason to play the story.
One last thing I want to mention.
What's that?
Which I don't know if you watched it. I did. The amazing encounter between the New Day and the Elite during E3.
I heard about that. Laserscope has notes about that. We do have we still have the Man on the Street report from Laserscope real quick, the notes to read off.
Yeah, well, we might want to go through that because this episode is going real long.
Yeah, well, we had a lot to catch up on.
Yeah.
This might be the last thing that we talk about, and then do some quick hit news. If we missed anything at E3, like any games, let us know in the Discord channel, or let us know hit us up on Twitter.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure we'll
L_Murpho DMurph_42, or email supergrappbros@gmail.com. Let us know. Let's see. Big Stupid said it was fantastic on multiple levels, the New Day and the Elite thing.
Yes,
all right.
It was.
So we have our Man of the Street report from Laserscope. Laserscope, who works for High Res Studios, who makes Realm Royale. He got to go down to E3, and he actually had time to go ahead and check out booths that were not his own, and check some things out. So these are his notes from E3 2018. His first notes are on Sonic Team Racing. He says, don't pay 99 cents for this. Played only mediocrely, and the paired back roster is a disaster with multiple duplicates in each race, so avoid that. He also got his hands on Spyro Remastered. Plays exactly like my childhood with the PS1. That's awesome to hear. That's a compliment, and I'm getting it ASAP. Dragon Quest 12 on the PS4. That's another thing we didn't talk about. Polished and played great. If you like classic RPGs, it felt like a must-have. After only an 8-minute video and 15-minute demo. He got a nice t-shirt freebie too. But that's good to hear that it's that good after 15 minutes. I played Dragon Quest 8, and it was really, really fun. I never got to finish it, but I had fun with what I played of it.
I remember you playing that.
He got Final Fantasy 14, the new updates or whatever. He said, holy crap, it's a legacy MMO. Not for me, but incredibly polished. They had an 8-person boss raid with group composition requirements. Final Fantasy 14 is an MMO that I never got into, and I don't know if I will ever get into, but it's one I wish I did.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like it's been great for the last for a while. Road Redemption, fun Road Rash air. I've owned it for a while, but it was nice to see it on the floor. I was hoping to see Maneater instead of Tripwire. Sable, saw the trailer at PC Gaming Show. By far one of the most gorgeous art as games. Trials Rising, that's a new Trials game, which had the cringeworthy moment of the guy crashing into the booth and falling over at the Ubisoft conference.
Yeah.
We got to, real quick before I'll mention this, and then we got to mention something else. Another polished Trials game. If you like the series, huge hooray. If you don't, nothing new. Beyond Good and Evil 2. There was a prequel, interesting cutscene, and it looks like Jade, a younger Jade, might be a villain.
I just want to point something out, which is something that Justin McElroy had tweeted out, which was the people who created Beyond Good and Evil saying to the fans of Beyond Good and Evil 2, we want your help to help us make this game because you guys want it and we don't want to. Yeah, I thought that was a little ridiculous of how they're trying to do this collaboration thing of having people do a lot of the work on the game, which goes to say, yeah, you're not nearly at the point of the schedule as you thought you guys were going to be, are you?
Skull and Bones, AC4 sailing, but only the sailing and polish for a few years I want. So, I mean, the AC4 sailing was good. I really want more full pirate experience game.
Exactly.
Kind of like AC4 was, except without the whole Assassin's Templar kind of the Animus thing.
Get a nice cross between that and what they're doing with Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, Laserscope had RIP. Did we lose audio? No, we didn't lose audio. I don't know what that's for. Hopefully we didn't the stream didn't die out. Never mind, I got it back. Okay. False alarm. Our man on the street was making us a little afraid for a while. I followed along. I froze with you. Laserscope has some negative feedback about the Sony booth. However, for Spider-Man, apparently they weren't doing appointments. I guess maybe they were doing VIP appointments.
Yeah,
maybe behind closed door stuff, but the game was only available like in the booth on a line. He said the line was too long because it was the only game without reservations pre-show. Screw Sony's planning this year, especially with their massive empty space for people to sit in and not utilize. And yeah, I guess he was talking about Jump Force before because this is take on the stuff at the Bankai Namco booth. Jump Force, burn it and throw it into the sun and then collapse the black hole. One of the most gorgeous games I saw, but easily the worst controls. Day of, I described it as take Final Fantasy 15 and try making it into a fighting game. Ugh. With only a partial lock on and only one regular attack button. Ugh, that doesn't sound good at all. That makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. Almost sounds like what they tried to do at the end with the Budokai games, where you had to it was like a 3D environment. You had to try and lock on in order to see where your opponent was.
That was not fun.
That's unfortunate. Whoa, what happened? Why did the chat go away? Laserscope says Spider-Man was the only public game. Every other game was VIP only for Sony. Then he says Dragon Ball Fighter Z on the Switch. Woo! That's about it. Soul Calibur 5, Geralt and Grow, not a typo, play excellently. Yeah, I don't know if you know that, but Geralt de Rivia, the Witcher, is actually a playable character in Soul Calibur 6.
You mean Geralt?
Yeah, Geralt, whatever. Geralt of Rivia. Rivia's right? You got that right? Okay, good. And I didn't completely F it up. The game is gorgeous, and button mashers beat me senseless on the arcade stick setup. I want this game with friends around, and we had a blast back in the day with Soul Calibur 2.
Yep, I remember that time I beat Sal once, and we bet $1 on it, and he got pissed, and he wanted to play me again, and I said no, and walked down the street to CVS and bought an Arizona iced tea.
With that $1.
Yep, he was very upset with me, but it was so refreshing.
Yeah. Here's his take on Nintendo's booth. Starlink, which is the space combat game that they showed off for Switch that has Star Fox in it. I get what they want to do. It's No Man's Sky exploration of scripted planets with a starship that transitions to atmospheric fighter. But you can also cut the engines and do a hovercraft battle mode. The control scheme is terrible for dual thumbsticks and better be selectable. Highly pixelated / blurred on Switch. This could easily devolve into a case of trying to do too much. Mario Tennis probably counts as a fighting game. Controls are both tight and frustrating against other people and AI. It's already out by now, but getting to be in the VIP area while Reggie Fils-Aimé kicked Jeff Keighley's ass was an experience. And yes, he's in the background of the video that he linked to us, so we'll take a look at that later. Let's go Pikachu / Eevee. Pokemon Go smashed up with Red Blue which makes sense because it's a remake of Yellow. Demo was solely the Viridian Forest, so the very beginning of the game. No more battling wild Pokemon, at least the demo. Tested the Pokeball controller, which is effectively a miniaturized Wii nunchuck. It worked mostly well enough, but I'd probably stick to the Joy-Con. Smash Ultimate. Ridley played great, who is a newly announced character. In addition to every single character in the history of Smash being available, which is awesome.
I have one issue with that.
What?
How can you say everybody's in if you don't have Waluigi?
Waluigi
This is
wasn't
a
playable.
crime. It is a crime if you're gonna have
don't be
Mario
that guy.
and Luigi
Don't jump on
and
them.
Peach and
It's
Wario.
every character
you
in
need
Smash
Waluigi.
history, and Waluigi has never been a part of Smash history.
I understand that.
Who knows?
I understand that, but I'm saying he
don't
should
know
be
if
added.
there are any other characters yet to be announced, and people freaking out over Waluigi. I really could care less about Waluigi.
Agree to disagree. I think that he should be in the game.
Oh Jesus. Anyway, he said the demo only had about 20 characters, but if people are upset at this game, they can only blame themselves.
Whatever. They didn't announce Waluigi. I'm upset.
Apparently, a lot of the characters are unlockable, from what I've heard. Paladins, this little game. They have this battle royale offshoot. Cough, cough, hint, hint, wink, wink, realm royale.
Yeah.
And like Skippy says, cough, cough. But it was fun and fulfilling to see people react to a game I love, and the reason I got to go to E3. Let's go. While I continue the notes, let me know how people received the game while you were there. We'll mention it in the chat. Bonus wrestling related stuff. Mega Ran was on the floor. Dude is damn tall. Mega Ran's a cool dude. And he's not that tall. I didn't think he was that tall the times I've met him. New Day had a few events around the show. And they do not fake the competitiveness at all on UUDD. Oh no, they don't. They don't at all. Yeah. I can tell you that firsthand. I've been there for Gamer Gauntlets. I was there when it started. No, they are highly competitive. They love crap talking each other backstage. They love it. It's what makes it so good because it's genuine. That's not staged at all. Big Stupid with the 10-bit cheer saying, "Wow, Murpho is a sidekick hater. Let Waluigi get his shine." Waluigi's had plenty of shine.
No, he has not.
He's in tennis. He's in all the sports games. He doesn't have to be. It's not. I'm not saying Waluigi is a crap character. I mean, but I'm not saying that. He is an important character in the Mario universe, but I'm saying it's not the end of the world if he's not in Smash.
Okay.
Anyway, he said they will fight, quote unquote, fight forever until the end of time if you put a controller in their hands. Also be prepared to duck pancakes. Young Bucks are taller than they look on TV, barely. And Kenny Omega, great guy to just say hi to and congratulate. Also, Cavs are shiny like whoa. Kenny, 1,000,000% through several of those rounds versus Woods to keep the tension going long enough to bust out Cody and kick some ass. Dude is skilled at Street Fighter V. Yeah. I knew, like, Austin tries to be good, and he is good at Street Fighter V. But, like, compared to Kenny is like, Kenny almost only plays Street Fighter.
Yeah.
So it's hard for Woods to be able to compete with somebody like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So Big Stupid, not Big Stupid, Lady Scope says, so my first in-person E3, but this felt like a very down year. The floor was at least 95% predicted or leaked games, no big surprise games, and of the few that were none were playable on the show itself. Fortnite killed it with their booth having a bus, dancers, and 2 green screens for dancing and gliding. That's cool. Which, by the way, the Fortnite tournament at E3 was actually very entertaining. The Pro-Am, go check that out. I highly advise it if you guys haven't checked it out yet. TLDR, Discord doesn't like long posts. I got it in 3 from him, so he said feel free to use what. We read it all. Reiterates, watch the Bandai trailer. They're having it as an open world shark PG. Oh god. And Bandai Namco bonus, My Hero Academia 3D Fighter looks and plays awesomely, which is good to hear. I need to watch My Hero Academia. Big Stupid with a 1. Lizcope told you to walk out on the Waluigi hot take. Big Stupid with the 1-bit cheer. Hater alert. Lizcope said Austin is good. Kenny is pro competitive. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Kenny is like pro level.
Yeah.
And Big Stupid Telescope says, yeah, you could tell that they were making it go to the end. Still entertaining though. So yeah, that was all of E3.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna start wrapping things up, but just really quick news. PUBG, if people don't know, they dropped their lawsuit against Fortnite as they should have.
Yep.
They also put out a season pass which did not get received well. Apparently does not have good rewards, and apparently some of the rewards that you pay money for this pass for are only temporary.
Oh, great.
But unless is there anything else in video game news that happened that I'm not thinking of? Like we've covered so much.
Yeah.
I
think it's time to call it.
Yeah, we're at like, this might be the longest show we've potentially ever had. It's almost 2.5 hours. But that's it. Big catch-up show. We did E3, some video game stuff. Covered a whole lot in wrestling. We will be back next week. We will be doing our predictions for Extreme Rules, and things are gonna be a little dicey over the next like month and a half with us for the podcast.
Yeah.
So just a fair warning to you guys. This is what things are gonna look like for us for Super Grapple Bros for the summer, for the majority of the rest of the summer. Next week we'll both be on. We will be able to do our Extreme Rules predictions. And then the week after that, next week we'll be back with a regular show. Yeah. We could do predictions for Extreme Rules if we want, right? Because Extreme Rules is the week after that.
Yeah.
So next 2 weeks we'll be on. We'll do Extreme Rules predictions in 2 weeks. 3 weeks from now, DMurph will be at a wedding, and I will be on vacation with my lady. So there will be no Super Grapple Bros in 3 weeks.
That weekend I have to work the entire weekend. The week after that I have a wedding, and then the next 2 weekends after that I'm going to be down on the other lower half of the country in Florida.
You'll be at the happiest place on earth, yes. Disney World, with the fam.
Yep.
I will be staying home. So there will be 3 weeks where I will need to find either a co-host to come in here or to jump on Skype with me, or I'll be going solo. So 3 weeks from now we'll be taking another off week, and then for the next 3 weeks it'll be me solo or me with a guest host. And so there will be like a solid chunk where this man will be gone.
Yep.
But you'll be back before SummerSlam, so it'll be all be good, I believe.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you'll be in right before SummerSlam. And you can always just send me your notes on the Extreme Rules review.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's what it's going to be like for us for over the next like month and a half. And yeah, Big Super said we are exhausted. We just did a marathon show after playing an early round of golf in 80-degree heat. So it's been a day, but we're going to close it out now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Do not forget, you can catch us live on Twitch at twitch.tv/lmurpho for every episode. You can watch us back on demand there as well. We highlight every single episode. You can also catch us on VOD on YouTube at youtube.com/lmurphoreal. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff. You can also find us in audio form on Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, Google Play, and other places. Other places where podcasts are found. Search Super Grapple Bros. Rate, review, subscribe. We need those positive reviews. That way we need those reviews so that we can be an officially rated podcast and more easily found by people. You can get involved in the discussion, if not in the comments or live in the chat on Twitch. You just email us at supergrapplebros@gmail.com. You can join my Discord server, which has a pair of Super Grapple Bros channels, which, by the way, nobody submitted any predictions for Money in the Bank. So make sure you get your Extreme Rules predictions in when the time comes, because there's still those prediction shout outs. We have a viewer predictions channel and a general discussion topic, Super Grapple Bros questions general channel in that Discord server. It is in the description on YouTube, show notes on audio, and on the channel page on Twitch. Do not forget as well to check us out on Twitter, because on Discord and on Twitter is when you will know when we go live. I am at L_Murpho. He is at DMurph_42.
Yep.
And with all that housekeeping taken care of, we will send you guys out with the Kayfabe News headline of the episode.
Tools required to assemble wrestling ring apparently include kendo stick.
Little did you know. That's why they're always under there.
And there's a picture of a WWE ring crew member fetches the kendo stick he will use to affix the tag rope.
Yep.
That's how it's done.
All right, guys. Thank you all so much for coming and sticking around for this long marathon episode. We will see you next time. Peace, deuces, deucey deuce.
Bye.
Laters. Bye bye now. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye.
Shut up and sit down.